who's so feminine and yet so strong in all her character traits. You know what I mean? I'm like she needs like your daughter's as girl as they get, but she'll punch any guy right in the fucking face and throw a rock, get in a rock throwing contest, no problem. You know what I mean? It's like, bam, we're live. Good morning. Hi, Greg.
Yeah, my Riley acts like a good superhero.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, you'll just see her just drop something and run, and there's someone being done wrong. She's gonna get in the middle of it.
Yeah. When we got, sorry, I'm late, guys. Alarm didn't go off this morning. Usually I get up at 6 like clockwork. I don't even need an alarm. And then I woke up this morning and I saw it was light outside. I'm like, oh, that's not good. Excuse me. Hey, did you watch?
It's 7:04, man.
I know. I know. They congregate at 7 every morning, and I like to do my bare minimum to show up on time.
That makes
Where
sense.
are you? Where are you? So I was noticing how quiet it is compared to Idaho.
It's Roche Harbor,
Washington State.
Yeah, on the San Juan Islands, on San Juan.
By the way, that's what Santa Cruz looked like yesterday. Yesterday was the first day that we didn't have sun in probably 4 months. It was just completely fogged in. It was so nice. It was like, oh, it's such reprieve. The fog?
The sun.
Oh, it is coming back?
Yeah.
Yeah, September's usually pretty amazing here. But it was nice to get a break yesterday. It probably stayed it was actually warmer at night last night. It was probably like 68 last night, but during the entire day it was probably the same temperature. Temperature hasn't changed here in 24 hours, I feel like.
That's really cool. This place is like a cross between Santa Cruz and Coeur d'Alene.
Hey, we don't get this in California, but you know how in the middle of the country in the East Coast it rains during the summer? Does it do that in Washington also?
I think sometimes. I think they're in a kind of a little low rain phase, and I only say that because I know that's the case in Idaho. They don't get a lot of rain, but it's an important rain.
Well, is that going to burn off?
Yeah, it did yesterday. Let me put it that way. Yesterday was sunny and warm.
And have you been out on the water yet?
Yeah, we went out yesterday from Friday Harbor. Kind of went around the island, pretty much.
Did you see wildlife?
Not so much.
No, nothing jump out of the water.
It's the first day out on the boat. We'll look tomorrow. Today.
I had a couple interesting guests on. I had 3 interesting guests on, by the way, this week. I had a guy who has the world record for the beer mile. 4:27. You drink a beer, run 400 four times, and go ahead.
So he drank 4 beers and ran a 4:27 mile.
Yeah, and that includes the time of drinking the beers.
Yeah, it's a continuously running clock.
Yeah, that's impressive, right? He drank. It has to be 5% alcohol, and it was a microbrewery out of Canada. He's a Canadian kid.
So you couldn't do this Coors Light kind of shit.
No, you could. Well, it has to be 5%. That's one of the rules.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. What's his regular mile?
I'm trying to remember if I asked. I think I asked him that. I want to say, I forget. I want to say like 3:53 or something.
You know how fast I put him on the label of my beer?
Yeah, right. Beautiful looking kid, 6'3", 175 pounds, but doesn't look it. Looks like he's 195 pounds. You know what I mean? Muscular. He does pull-ups. You know what I mean? He does some mixed modality training. He looked nothing like the other runners. There's a chug zone. So basically you start and there's a 30-foot area, I think, like 10 meters. It's a chug zone. You have to drink in that zone and then you run. And then when you come back around, your next beer is waiting for you and it's closed. He runs with a bottle opener. You can choose any beer. You can choose twist off, bottle opener, can, whatever. And then
does he make all the rules?
No, some other guy makes rules, but this guy's won it 5 times. Then I had
5 years in a row.
I think he got disqualified.
5 good days.
He's won 5 of 6 years. I think one year he said he got disqualified because he knocked his beer over on the approach. And you have to, so basically one of the other rules is after you drink your beer, you set it in a container and then someone collects it. And if there's more than 4 ounces in there, you're disqualified
4 ounces?
of
That's a half a
12.
fucking cup.
Yeah, well, I think that they try to be pretty lenient because when some people, if they're throwing, I mean, you're throwing the beer back and then you bring it down and it's just all foam, and then they let that foam settle and then they pour it in.
I see. So is that, can you get 4 ounces of foam? Half a cup? I wouldn't think so.
No, I don't think so either. But
is there any requirement to not throw it up?
Yeah, you can't throw up during the race, and there's some window after the race. I forget what.
Wait 10 minutes to hand out the trophy.
Yeah, it's a small window, but a lot of people do throw up. Like, he said after the second lap, every beer is just war. He said the first 2 beers you kind of enjoy, and the third and fourth beer are the worst, like absolutely horrible. He's flying, man. He's a specimen. And then, go ahead.
He's a scholarship runner with a 357.
Yeah, he's 30, but he was a collegiate. He was a 1,500 and 800 meter runner in college.
Yeah. Guys get forced into the 8 from 15.
Oh, like they go to
do that. No, you get a big crowd standing around it at 100, 200, and 400, and then there's another big chunk of interest at 1,500.
Yeah,
and nobody wants to do the twice around. It's clearly that 1,000-meter row. I'm waiting for somebody to do an O2 sat for me.
Explain that.
I'd like to see what I think that your O2 saturation is low on epic 1,000-meter efforts.
So that thing what's that thing? That thing you put on your finger. You're saying if like you normally check it, it's 99 after 1,000-meter row, it'll be 92.
That's my suspicion. It's such a simple thing, and no one's tested it. Those things weren't easy to get your hands on when I cared, and we were always planning to do it. I'd put someone on that. I'll think of who in a minute, and it never came forward. But there's a sensation that twice around, and these guys, 800-meter guys, they just tell you it's all about throwing up on your shoes 3-4 times a week. It's a horrible distance. It's a horrible feeling. And the best of the CrossFitters, when they've done something, what's that? What is that, Mark? What's it? 149? 249? What's a good 1,000-meter road time? I don't even fucking remember anymore. 249.
Yeah, that would be good. That would be really good.
Yeah. Under that mark, no one was willing to do it again. I do my best, kind of tell Amundsen that Josh Everett just did it and beat it, and he's better than me. Fuck him, Or that was Josh about Greg. Greg was more polite. Tell that fine lad he's the champ.
Why do you think that's such a bad time domain?
I could talk them into anything, but I couldn't that.
It's the time domain that's bad, not the not the modality or the distance, right?
Yeah. Yeah, I think you'd have a lower O2 sat holding your breath, rowing 1,000 meters than you would holding your breath for 3 minutes. But I have an in here. Did you know that Hackelman is a surgical nurse?
Maybe I knew that. Maybe because you told me.
Fucking guy's got a master's degree in surgical nursing. But
by the way, Greg's referencing John Hackelman, the owner of the Pit, who is Glover Teixeira's and Chuck Liddell's and many other coaches for many great fighters. And he has a 10th degree black belt in 2 different disciplines. So for those of you who don't know who Hackelman is. Okay, sorry. Go ahead, Greg.
And I call him a friend. I really like the kid.
He's amazing.
Yeah, we spent a lot of time together. But he said that you put a plastic bag over your head and pull the drawstring tight, and at the point of unconsciousness, you don't have a prominently suppressed O2 sat. that it's the hypercampia, it's the carbon dioxide that's doing you in.
Well, you know, it's interesting you say that. So I had the guy on yesterday who holds the world record for holding your breath.
Oh, the 27-minute thing?
Yeah, 29:03.
Yeah, 29:03. And it was funny. I was trying to get JP, my SEAL buddy, to take a guess at the mark. And he's I don't know, man. He goes, well, like, what's your sense of it? And I go, it was 4 times what I thought possible.
He explained. Go ahead.
He said that JP was like, oh, the pre-breathing. That's the, you know.
There were 2 things to it. His record with just a standard breath hold underwater was 10:08. And when you do a standard breath hold, I didn't know this. You probably know this, but you hold your breath and your lungs fill up with 80% of other gases and 20% oxygen. And when you run out of oxygen, you're basically, you know, or not. You run out of oxygen, but your lungs still stay inflated because they have 80% of other shit in them. Then when you went for the world record, you breathe pure oxygen for 5 minutes and your lungs fill with 100% oxygen. And that one he held for 29:03, but your lungs actually collapse. Like they get small, he said the size of a fist, because it uses all the oxygen in them. And he's a remarkable human being. He'd been diving at 5 years old just on his own. He had already been 20 meters below the surface. He's a Croatian dude, 40 years old. He also said he had an 82-year-old client who he got to dive down to 96 meters. No, 96 feet. Sorry, 96 feet. That's wild, right?
Yeah, JP recovered a cell phone. We had 2 cell phones the same day go off the pier, and he was. It was I was gone. I was in Boston when this happened, but we went back, and when I got back, they were talking about it. He went down and he wanted to get a mask and fins to get down there, and I was like, just take a 45-pound plate.
Yeah.
And he had, in fact, taken the GoRuck plates. They're plastic coated, and perfect shape to hold on to. So he had that at his avail, but I don't think he used it.
And he went down and retrieved the cell phones?
Uh-huh.
The water's that clear in Idaho?
He saw one. He didn't see the other one. And I said, maybe it was face down with it. And he says, the one I found was face down.
That's crazy. How many cell phones have I forgot. I didn't even think about that. How many cell phones have gone off the pier now since you've had it?
I don't know. Not that many. You know, but a lot of things have, you know, complete tackle boxes. Dude, when it was a dock before we had the pier, some asshole would come by and throw a wave over the dock.
And just wash everyone's shit off, their clothes, your beer, everything?
Damn near, you know? If you didn't have your game on, because the thing's bobbing and falling, and here comes 9 inches of water over the top. Yeah, you could easily get tossed in. Not anymore. And you know it's cool. So we got the pier, so it's got those big pilings into the bedrock, and then we put a breakwater in front of it of some boards. And now I'm looking for. I was trying to find. I thought for sure someone would have this, but an inflatable log.
Yeah.
Wouldn't that be badass? And rubber chains, and just put a log out, because most of the rudeness or dangerous shit is in these pontoon boats rented from kids that come over from Spokane.
Yeah, I feel like I've seen that in areas where there's something in the water floating like a giant noodle, and it'll be like a half circle protecting something.
There's all kinds of swim barriers, but nothing. And it might be that the kids from Spokane aren't sensitive to a log, but I think anyone with any kind of boating experience, a deadhead, a tree in the water is like it's your fucking worst nightmare.
Right.
You know, some people are looking for sharks. I'm looking for trees.
What did you think?
you would advance none from point of impact. And so you're going to have a go through the windshield kind of experience on the boat, tossed or fucked up inside.
So it just stops the boat. It doesn't tear off a chunk off the bottom and the boat keeps going.
From what I've seen, the boat advances about 2 feet if you're at high speed. So if you really kicking ass, you'll advance about 2 feet into the log.
And everyone goes off the boat.
Into the windscreen. I mean, it's a serious fucking thing. It's you expect fatalities.
What does this thing look like?
That log in the water is your immovable barrier in the car. You know, the bridge movement.
What does this thing look like? So I'm picturing your dock is.
Say they should make it. I want to put a fucking inflatable fiberglass rubber log out 60 feet in front of my dock.
But you do have something out in front of your dock.
Not really.
Oh, I thought you said you had some boards or something.
Well, they're attached to the pylon, so they're actually under the dock, and it's just to stop the wake.
Oh, okay. I can't quite picture that. Let me see if the phone's working this morning. Hello? Phone wasn't working yesterday. I don't know what's going on with. Oh, let me see.
You'd have cell at your house.
Hello? Hello? It's just the Bluetooth to the it's the Bluetooth to the Roadcaster. I don't know why it's having so much problem. Go ahead, caller.
Hi, it's Pedro Moss.
Oh,
I was wondering
go ahead.
if Greg Glassman. Yeah, I want to tell Greg Glassman I saw the guy, the cop from Rambo. He came to my house. The cop from Rambo. He came to my house.
What for?
He wanted to tell me I can't put up signs from InfoWars. I put up stickers from InfoWars.
Yes.
And the cop came with a mask on. I wanted to sue them. Sue but if Greg could help me out to sue my town and the New World Order.
Greg, do you have any interest? The cop from Rambo came to this gentleman's house. What's the city?
Well, I can't tell you the city because I'm hiding.
Okay. And
what's the cop from Rambo?
In upstate New York, near Cooperstown.
Are you sure it was the cop from Rambo?
Yes, I saw him.
I wonder if it's this guy, Buzz Feischman.
No, listen, it's Denningham.
I think he's dead. I think that guy's dead. Brian.
Yeah, he's dead.
Brian Dennehy.
He's dead, but yeah. He's dead, but the people. I think it was a lady because he was short. But the big guy, there's two cops. One big guy, he was real. He looked real, but they had like 80s guns. 1980s.
Greg, are you interested in sponsoring a lawsuit to stop a dead cop from Rambo from not allowing this guy to put up signs in his front yard?
He's being harassed.
I went down the whole town. I went on the town and put up stickers all over the place.
Sevi, doesn't that sound like a case we did help in?
Yeah,
I can't hear anything you say.
Yeah, sorry, the phone's not working. Call back next week with the story. I think Greg's not sponsoring lawsuits this week, but check in next week and when the phone's working.
Okay.
Thank you. Have a good day. Hey, can I ask you a question? Have you had anything to drink this morning? Have you had anything to drink this morning?
Yeah, but I didn't smoke any weed this morning. I had no money for weed for a week.
Okay, no wonder you sound sober. Okay. All right. Well, thank you. Congratulations on the getting off the weed.
Well, I gotta get some tomorrow.
Okay.
That makes sense.
Love you, buddy. Have a good day.
See you later.
Bye.
Oh. So
that
this
guy
is
usually
what
calls
we're talking to.
That's our audience. That guy usually calls with me with like gardening advice.
Yeah.
I wonder what's
Dude,
going on with.
it's like he I'm tripping off. It's like he drifted over from Stern. It's like Ass Napkin Ed or something.
Yeah, he's great.
You should collect this. Just use that concept. Get your own little, what is it, whack pack?
I feel like I do have a whack pack. The callers get really upset sometimes when I let that guy go on and on about gardening. Strong Fit Julian here. I just wanted to thank you, Greg, for all you've done. Much respect. There ain't no CrossFit without you at the helm. Wow. Twice even.
That's kind, and but it's Justin. It's some people may feel that way, but it's not really accurate. The magic still, and I think I've tried to always be clear about this, but it's that young lady that gets out of bed at 3:45 and takes a quick shower and jumps into her shit and is there unlocking the door at 4:30 for the 5:00 arrivals. And the relationship that she has with the people in that box is fucking an amazing thing. Absolutely amazing. And the stories you hear from every box, they're all amazing. And it's the same kind of amazing. That thing no one can take away. But it is hard to reconcile the fact that the leadership has absolutely no sense of that. It was a problem I had. I had the problem that you and Dave weren't affiliates, and Nicole, that you hadn't run a gym. You know what I mean? It created some communication. I had to force the comms on that issue, right?
Yep.
But I'm just a guy that rolled out of bed at 3:45 for years and was there unlocking that door at 5 a.m. to be a docent to people discovering their potential, who they really were on all fronts. This concept of a life coach came around, and I'm fucking laughing. Fuck you. I'll show you life coaching. Try to not apply what we discover in the gym to your daily life. You can't. It's unmissable.
I think that there's really no difference in a religion and CrossFit in terms of not what they are in the outside world, but what they are in people's head, meaning they give you values and direction and meaning and all of these things. And therefore, I don't think any religion is successful without a dogmatic leader who's very clear about what the tenets of the religion are. And I think maybe it's an oversimplification, but I think that's the whole thing. You were you understood the religion better than anyone else. And you were more true and less likely to pick up shiny objects and compromise. Like if the Christians believe Jesus is the only way, you also believe that constantly varied functional movement executed at high intensity was the only way. And it doesn't matter whether they're true or not. It just won't be successful if the leader doesn't defend the realm at the core tenets. And I don't think that's not a dig at the current leadership. I just don't think there's anyone else who can do that besides you. I just don't.
I had to defend against the cult concept on the reg.
Yeah.
Long before anyone would say CrossFit was big. There was
like it's a bad word.
Yeah. Well, yeah, there was a core. Well, this is, when we all grew up with Jonestown and this kind of shit, right?
Right. The implication was you end up killing yourself. And
I didn't know of a good cult, but there's a mindless quality to it. But I thought, what a horrible thing it'd be to be head of a cult and not even recognize it is one. And on some soul searching, I came to the conclusion it wasn't. And for me, a cult involves some wacky beliefs. And I don't care what the fuck you believe. I'd like you to believe in yourself, but you don't have to. And you can actually go home after every session and look in the mirror and go, this will never work. This Glassman guy's wrong. Just mantra that. Stand there in the mirror and tell yourself this Glassman guy's full of shit. This will never work. And the day will come shortly where you're going to go, fuck, the guy in the mirror is wrong. I'm fucking changing.
Right.
I'm a different fucking person.
Right.
And that can happen without, and there's a moment in the relationship always where a person starts coming to terms with the significance of what it is that you've led him or her into. and then they try to tell you how crazy cool it is, and you just laugh, like,
Right.
yeah, I know. Why didn't you tell me? And I go, well, you wouldn't have believed me. You wouldn't have believed me. It wouldn't make sense to believe it. So, you got a religion, except the guy could do crazy card tricks and drink 10 gallons of water while you watched. You know what I mean? There was an outcome of exceptional quality that was far from anticipated.
The thing is, like,
if you ask anyone that's a significant CrossFitter, and I don't care whether they're 70 or a games athlete in 70 or new to it, on the results side, nobody was expecting that.
is that a boat?
No, it's a Yamaha.
Oh.
Nice one.
You practice some of the core tenets of Christianity, but I don't even know what they are, but let's say it's the 10 commandments, and things in your life will change. They'll start to get better, right? Like shit, like honor your parents, treat your people the way you want to be treated, whatever those tenets are. And as you add them, you're like, shit's getting better and better. I'm having nicer, higher quality interactions with people. People are being nicer to me. You get some, if you're attuned, you get some feedback. And the same thing is like that with CrossFit, right? You do the movement patterns. You recognize that scaling doesn't take away from the stimulus. You start following the food, the nutrition protocol. You start practicing other sports, and you can be mindless. The rules are there for those of us. I enjoyed that part of it immensely in the beginning, just being mindless and being like, hey man, this is working for a shitload of people. And every little bit that I add or try to follow, shit in my life gets better. Happier in the morning. I'm happier at night. I feel better about myself. I'm more willing to help other people. You know what I mean? It's just the needle moves in that direction.
There are so few requirements, don't throw up in my sink and show up on time, right?
Yeah.
Come showered. And then outside of the norms you'd have for any kind of interaction, there are so few things, but they do include a full range of motion, right?
Yeah.
And so some of those things kind of sit sacred. It's really simple, and the profundity is unmissable. It's an easy thing to do and to be hooked on doing and to thoroughly enjoy. I miss it.
I remember going back to the scaling thing. I remember being at a level 1. I think it was Nicole Carroll's brother who was there, and he was really buff and looked amazing. And you had him do jumping pull-ups against someone who had like 1/3 as many pull-ups as him, and they just absolutely destroyed him.
Yeah, those, you can get yourself into trouble jumping pull-ups.
Yeah, it was crazy.
It's well, I tell you, that's a scale that comes with some warning, But I hate the rubber bands.
I don't like the bands either. Taylor Self, put a couple Ortegas out there and say them by the hour to tread water and yell obscenities in Mexican. Oh, he's saying you can just float some Home Depot workers out there and pay them $20 an hour to yell at boats as they go by.
I don't get it. For what?
To keep people away from your dock. Hey, talk to me about the jumping pool.
Dude, you know what? I've called the cops on people that were throwing beer bottles, cruising too close to my dock, and you make your little report and you think it's going nowhere, and next thing you know, the cop's calling you back and he's FaceTiming. Are these the assholes?
Oh, wow.
Yeah, like, wow, yes. That guy right there threw a bottle. Him. He's wearing the same shit he had on when he threw the bottle.
That's crazy that someone would be out there throwing bottles into the lake.
Especially given the real estate you're cruising by,
Yeah. Hey, Greg, about a
you
year.
might have have a Gretzky or a Wahlberg or someone run you down on a boat and beat your ass too.
Right.
It's funny.
Bo Keating, hey Greg, about a year ago you mentioned the Bernedoodle breed on this show. We got one. Just wanted to say thanks for putting her on our radar. She's the best 10-month-old dog ever.
My Rip died, and he was named after Ripito.
Oh
That
yeah,
was,
yeah.
I thought it was a good dig at Rip to name a snipey little barking dog after him. Then I fell in love with the fucking dog, and it bugged me that he was named after this guy that was kind of hard to get along with. So I called him up and, hey, let's be pals. I actually like you, and it kind of worked. But
So that's kind of therapy. You gave yourself therapy. You had frustrations with someone, you named a dog after him, you started liking him.
That was it. That's the Killcliff origins.
You psyoped yourself.
That's
no. What's the origin of that?
That the founder was a team guy, and Cliff was kind of a arch nemesis. And the guys told him later that, dude, he's been peeing on your toothbrush for like a year.
Oh my goodness.
And so he got therapy for it. And he's like, because all my instincts are to blow his brains out while he's eating dinner. Just shoot him right in the fucking head. And the therapist said, you should turn this into a positive thing. So he founded a energy drink called Kill Cliff and got rich.
Wow. That's
a great moment, right?
Yeah.
That story's so fucking good that I didn't even check to see if it's true.
He needs to they need to make it. I wonder if there's
right to be good.
I want to see a video where he talks to Cliff about it.
They should. I forgive you, dude.
Was Baker the founder of that company or no? He just worked there.
Is Baker the one that told me that Dave was a fake SEAL?
Yes.
Pulls me aside, like out of line. We got to have a talk, man. You've got, there's something you need to know, and it could be a real downside for you. You could embarrass yourself and lose the whole business. And I'm like, oh, fuck. Well, let's have it. This is certainly something I need to know. And it was Dave Cash was a fake SEAL. And I go, well, let me tell you something. Maybe you're right, but I'm going to tell you this: whatever he is, it's much better than a SEAL. Because the problem we have is that he's recognized by sight. He's KBS at Naval Special Warfare, where we just walk through the gates and go into offices and talk to people. So he's more than just getting pussy at the bar, telling everyone he's a SEAL when he's not. They think he's a SEAL too. And so I wouldn't even fuck with that. If he's not a SEAL, he's really dangerous. You know what? That's like that kid that someone said he was in the CIA, and okay. And so then I'm at Okinawa, and there he is. And I go to Quantico, and we last minute got put into the room where Marine One is stored, and they put a chalkboard in there. So they got
that's the helicopter, presidential helicopter.
Yeah, they got 5 guys guarding that, and there's Sven over there fucking talking to him, And I don't know what he is, but he can go anywhere he fucking wants. And sometimes in a uniform, sometimes not. Typically just in gym shorts, just walking the grounds of wherever we ended up.
Caller, hi.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, I don't know if you're going to be able to hear Greg, though, because we got a phone issue, but go ahead.
Sure. Well, I'll listen back. My question's pretty simple. So I'm a mom of a toddler and another baby on the way. I'm just wondering, you may have some advice on this too, but Coach, how do you approach talking about sugar with kids and, just like being out in public at birthday parties and stuff? What's your advice? My toddler's getting old enough to start getting interested in things that other people are eating now, and we're getting to that place.
I had a 3-year-old walk into our bedroom at 3 a.m. years ago, and walk up.
He's answering online.
Walk up.
You want to take this off the air?
Yeah, I don't.
Okay.
I'll call her too later.
Okay.
But I don't have this. This is not an easy subject, and it's not an easy fix. But I was saying I had a kid show up at 3 years old, 3 a.m., walk into the bedroom, almost like he's sleepwalking, and just look me right in the eyes and go, "I want sugar."
Oh
Like,
shit.
fuck, like that's straightforward. Look at my little baby trying to get to me out here. Do you see her in the window there? Remy.
Oh yeah, 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 yeah. How old is she now?
She just turned 1.
Hey, none of
Hey,
our
Maggie,
kids.
bring her out here. Let me hold her for a minute. Is
None
that
of,
okay?
yeah. None of my kids. We did when they were one. There was no cake at the birthday party. When there's 2, there's no cake at the birthday party. I never gave them licks off of the ice cream. I think that if you can keep it away from their senses for as long as possible. I remember the first time. I remember Avi at 5 years old, thinking that the syrup on the counter at the Silver Spur on our table was a pot of tea because he had no idea. I think less talking is always more. To this day, I don't know if my kids have ever had juice. I don't know if they've ever had a cup of juice. I had really strict rules, no drinking sugar, like absolutely not. You know what I mean? No juice, no soda. And I didn't even make it weird. And then eventually when we started going to like birthday parties and stuff when they were older, if there was ice cream and cake, I would just be, hey, you got to pick one. You know what I mean? And it became the kind of thing that you just had when you went to someone else's house. And it seemed to work. They don't have any when we're at home, like they don't ask for I mean, they think jelly's a treat, you know?
I get that. And congratulations for pulling that off.
Yeah.
My mom and dad were similar in that we didn't have any of that shit in the house. Not that what we had was good, but there were no sweets. And so my sister and I'd ride our bikes down to the grocery store in pants of fucking flat of
Right.
cinnamon rolls and sit on the loading dock behind the store and eat them. A whole fucking pack, more than anyone would ever give a kid. I don't know what the answer is, but I've got a couple that I think there's no crime they wouldn't commit. You know, like you talk about like a crack whore, you know?
Yeah.
Man, I got some kids that do anything for sugar. But what I can make clear is what I think. And so they know I think it causes cancer, heart disease, obesity, chronic obstructive pulmonary disease, all of it. And they roll their eyes. But I think that, you know, we're all like, who is the Sugar Blues gal?
Oh, who wrote the book?
No, it was her husband, Duffy, that wrote it. She was Gloria Swanson, I believe.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, Gloria Swanson. There were people that knew her best from the sugar angle and not as an actress. And what a legacy. And what I'm saying is, for so many kids to look at child rearing, I think what you want to do is leave your kids with a good sense of the truth, so that when they go the wrong way, they can find their way back.
Right. That's well said.
And I had a dear friend in Santa Cruz who found himself a crackhead and great guy, but he found himself a crackhead and in jail. And he said that like he was raised, and he was I don't want to give anything away, the story, give it away, but he was the son of a successful Beverly Hills dentist. And he got segregated by color and assumptions of his of what his self-worth was. And he realized in the first few days that he wasn't like these people. Now he had a brother that went to jail and didn't get the same impact, but he knew from the first week that he was going to do everything in his life to not be back here with these people.
Oh,
Which is a great fucking story. A year of that, you know, of like, when I get out of here, I don't know what I'm going to do, but I am not coming back. And because he remembered his childhood, right? I used to be the son of a Beverly Hills dentist. And now look at me with these fucking people. No. And so I think you can do that on a lot of fronts. That what you'd like is your kids to grow up realizing that a lot of what you gave them was absolutely priceless.
Yep.
I'm gonna tell you that my father's lessons on science that I detested in the receptive years, I applied some simple but profound notions of science, and it ended up giving me multi-generational wealth. And I entered into a field that you'd probably be told you're stupid to go into fitness to get wealthy, right?
Well, not probably. You were told that, right?
yeah, by the very same father. But there was some low-hanging fruit that looked like constantly varied high-intensity functional movement increases work capacity across broad time and modal domains, and we can prove it. And it was proven by adopters. But that's a cool thing, to be given something maybe that you didn't even want, and then to realize later that it's of incomparable value. I told you about, I had the chemistry professor, organic chemistry professor at San Diego State, who said he wouldn't trade what he knew about organic chemistry for all the wealth in the world, for the winning lottery ticket, was his exact line.
Wow.
And I was impressed by that, because I knew someone like that. My dad was of that kind of character. And he also said that he just was going to offer it, that there wasn't a 5% chance of any of the people in the back 2 rows passing the class. And that's where I was. And I didn't.
That's a great observation.
Isn't that amazing?
Yeah.
It's like, yeah, right. Fuck you, you know? And then when I repeated the class, I sat in the front row. And we got to hear it again. I got a fucking A in the class. I realized that organic chemistry was going to be more like gymnastics than sociology or psychology or English. Where if you weren't stupid, you could sit there and get an A.
By the way, compositionally, body composition, you know, my kids only do it twice a week for 90 minutes, but then now they've been doing it for 6 months, and my kids' body composition is completely transformed. And the activities I see them doing around the house, doing levers and handstand competitions, and the hands, I never realized how potent the handstand walking is. It's completely changed their shoulders and their arms. They handstand walk like every single day. It's crazy the adaptations they're getting. And it's not like they trained hard already in all sorts of disciplines. The gymnastics has completely changed their bodies. Their cores are like, I can't even believe their cores. It's like nuts.
We put a picture of Blake up on the website years ago when he was just in the 7th grade or something. And I said that he will within 5 to 7 years be accused of having a genetic gift. Watch. And then that day came at the CERT when we were doing workouts, you know, like I think it was Helen with like 50 people, 60 people. The CERT used to be too big. In the early days, they were, which is a little different than what you'd think most of these things would organically develop. You think you'd grow into larger numbers. We started with large numbers quickly, tried one at 200. And that was pretty cool. That's where Cindy Oji brought me Axe's shirt from Bud's. But we had 200 people there. But they got smaller and smaller, and there was at a CERT of 50 people with a bunch of team guys and other, you know, studs. First and second place was Eddie Lugo and Blake Glassman. You know, so a whole bunch of professional soldiers at the highest kind of levels of performance got bested by a 15-year-old kid. And women. That was a thing that Grady said was so.
Was Blake doing organized gymnastics? Was he taking gymnastics?
No,
just CrossFitting.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and the things that used to challenge them in CrossFit, now that they've started doing, she doesn't even have them do a lot of rope climbs, but now whenever they climb ropes at homes, like legs are for pussies. Like everything's legless. Always start legless. Like they just know stuff. Toes to bar, the legs are straight. You know what I mean? No more of this like honky wampus like the way I do them.
You saw that ninja chick on I think you sent me the video.
Oh yeah, she's with the giant hammers.
Yeah, climbing the rope, pulling
Yeah.
up a bar with her legs.
She's remarkable. Yeah, she's remarkable.
She looks like she can do one-arm pull-ups.
Yeah. Sevi, tell Greg your theory on machines. Would love to hear his opinion on it. So I've been a little belligerent about this lately. 5 of the workouts in the CrossFit Games this year of the 10 had machines. There was another big competition this weekend by another organization, the Will Morad Fitness League. They had 6 events, and 3 of them had machines. And I'm really just like done with the fucking machine thing. Like I accept the rower. And other than that, I just see them as therapeutic machines or machines for old people or things for physical therapy or things to do in training. But when I see them in competition, I'm completely nauseated by them. I think that the skill transfer from them to anything else is just fucking pathetic and the lowest of low. Do you know what I mean? Like if you get me someone who's world class at Cindy, okay, and then you get me someone who's world class on the assault bike. Then we put 10 things in the hopper. I'll choose the guy who's world class at Cindy over the guy who trained world class on the bike. We're seeing events, I believe, being won or lost because it's 50 cals on the machine on a bike at the start of a workout and at the end of a workout, and that there's these giant and I think what's happened also, Greg, is that it's let big men into the sport. All of a sudden we have these men who are like 6 feet tall, which is that's just a correlate. It's not like any like prejudice I have towards big men, but I don't think we're testing quote unquote functional fitness. It's really starting to piss me off. It's like this is just bullshit.
I had a client in the 90s who was 150 pounds overweight and held the world record for his age at all kinds of distances on the Concept 2 rower from their online, what they published. In fact, we had to talk them into putting a 500-meter event up.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it's not a row distance.
And of all the machines, I accept the rower the most in terms of like putting it into a competition. But when they are the ones like let's say you have 50 cals on the bike, and then you have 10 thrusters at 135, and then you have 20 pull-ups, and then you have 10 thrusters at 135 again, and then another 50 cals on the bike. It doesn't matter how everyone's gonna like eventually be able to do that middle chunk the same speed, but the guys on the end, it's gonna be the guys who are 6 feet fucking tall, 213 pounds, who crush these machines. And I think that they need to be used sparingly. Like why not put double unders in there instead of the machine, or running? Put running in there. I don't care if you put running. Sorry, go ahead. Do you have any thoughts on machines?
You could run a whole show on programming errors, but I'm with you, but maybe for different reasons. Maybe it's just the Puritan in me or the appreciation for our art, you know?
Yeah, I feel like it is a purist.
That being said, I had a original Airdyne, you know?
Right.
That's what the assault bike is, a ripoff of that. And a ripoff too. The Schwinn just didn't have the people holding the paper on that didn't have the clout.
And people would say to me, Greg, they would say shit like, hey, but Greg always had this assault bike or the Airdyne. I said, yeah, do you know how Greg used it? He would, at the end of a class or at the beginning of a class, he would get someone who's really fit, and he would use it as a spectacle or as a gimmick or as a way to show someone what intensity was. It had a utility, either to showcase something or to explain to people what intensity is, like in a 1-minute max trial. But it wasn't like this cornerstone of every single fucking workout. And even if it was, I don't mind it in a class, but in a competition, we're making a mockery of ourselves. There's a circus component to it. It's like, hey, just fucking put them out there and make them run, or make them do 100 air squats to start every workout. I don't give a fuck. Double unders.
You have a let's just look at them in solo.
Yeah.
If you had a competition for assault bike calories, say fastest to what, 50 calories? Is that your figure?
Sure. Yeah.
Okay. You have that competition in a large pool of people, and look at who's going to win it, and then add to that workout pull-ups, and none of the elite from the assault bike are going to be in the competition anymore. In other words, the guys like Matt Bickle that can break the handles.
Yeah.
He just ripped the handles right off that fucking thing, right?
Yeah, he's done that. Yep.
Yeah, and won the bike. And Bill's wasn't really excited about giving it to him either. And he's also broken the handles on the Concept 2 rower. Okay, but what you do is you couple that with someone that can do pull-ups, and Matt ain't gonna be there.
Right.
Your world record on the assault bike isn't commensurate with 3 pull-ups. It's not a slam on anybody.
No,
we had NFL fucking guys. We had linemen telling me they needed 225 for Fran. I'm like, dude, you can't do it with a fucking 115.
Right.
What's your argument, though, Sevan? Is it the fact that it's not a spectacle?
I've watched so much of that shit, and you never forget it. You know why you're watching. You're never going to forget it.
I don't mind any of the only non-objective reason that I think that I don't like it is what Greg said. I am a Puritan. I do accept the rower because it was here when I came to CrossFit. So for whatever fault that is of mine, okay, fine. But like, I don't care that it's boring to watch. None of that stuff. I think the execution level on that is the lowest of all tests of fitness. Meaning, I'll use another example. You take someone who's world-class at jumping rope and someone who's world-class on the ski erg. And then let's pick some things. Let's have them play basketball afterwards. Let's have them fight. And I guarantee you the jump roper's just fucking the other dude up. And why? Because it requires insane metabolic conditioning and a crazy fucking skill set that also transfers to being light on your feet and a quick agility and explosive. I just think the machine is just, I think it's lazy and it's so biased. So it's over the top. J.R. Howell, guy on the East Coast, had a gym for more than 10 years. And when he programs competitions, he told me, and I don't want to misspeak for him, but he likes to put, if there's a machine in the workout, it's usually in the beginning, and it's just to ramp up just a little bit of intensity if he didn't want it to be like in a longer time domain. So he wants to really like test them, like get them like a quick 30 calories on the bike and then see how they do Fran. You know what I mean? It's to kind of test that.
The point I'm making is, I'll make it by virtue of one of my favorite training tools in the gym is to line everyone up in size order, roughly height and weight, big guys on one end, little guys on the other end, and peel them off in pairs from the outside. So take the biggest guy in the room. So you got a Matt Bickle and a Spieler, as a team, and you put 185 on the bench, and you got pull-ups, and and you have to pick numbers where spotting is going to be required. And it's just so fun to see a Spieler pushing up 275 pounds of Bickle by the ass to help him do pull-ups.
Yeah.
Why this guy's
that's awesome.
in your bench press.
Wow.
Because you can't even move the fucking thing.
That's a great team workout.
Oh, we did so much like that. It was just fucking brilliant. I'll just tell you, just outright fucking brilliant to see that in action.
It's not.
Help me,
If you look back at the programming, especially in the early 2000s, you could definitely see that there wasn't a lot of machines. I mean, the rower was in, but all the stapled workouts were definitely couplets of weightlifting and gymnastics to your point there, Greg. And I do think, Sebon, there is a point where like there has been this overexposure to it, especially in the competition side. And
Yeah,
one of the
I don't mind it in the gym. I don't mind it in the gym.
No, but I also think you're correct in that it could lead to lazy programming. Like I know when I'm programming for the gym, and Greg, you probably have experienced this where it ebbs and flows. Sometimes you're just in a zone and you could just hammer out a bunch of workouts and it all looks great. And then other times I'm just beating my head against the wall trying to think of something and they all seem redundant. There doesn't seem to be enough variety in it. But one of the things that was really predominant in the past was like, you're going to do a 3-rep max deadlift for the day. And then you would see 2 days later, Greg would program something and it would say 70% of the deadlift weight that you got from last Wednesday. And then there was like this element to it where there was like this continuation of it. And at some point, and it looks like maybe around 2011, 2010, it started to skew away from that, almost like the programming and conditioning for an individual to more like standardized stuff for almost competition. And I think that's also too where we started to see that machine creep in a little bit more and more.
Explain how running is not biased, but echo bike is. It's not. It's not the bias. It's the transferability of that skill to something else, or the functionality of it out in the real world. Would you rather I would much rather be really good runner than a really good biker. And unfortunately, I'm a really good biker. I'm significantly better at biking than I am at running. I wouldn't say I'm a good biker, but I'm significantly better at riding a bike than running. And you want to know why? Because it's fucking easier.
You don't have to support your structure.
But if I was a better runner, it would transfer over to other types of shit way more. I'm fucking sitting down in that I don't even have to balance that thing. It's just, it's a retard machine. I get it. I know why I'm on it at 53 years old watching TV and riding.
Do you do that?
I know. Yeah. That's how the first 15 minutes of 10, 15 minutes of every single workout I do, I get on the assault bike. I fucking put on Gutfeld or some Chinese guy who's like explaining conspiracies to me. And I sit on the bike and listen to him program my brain. Yeah. And then I'm sweating like a pig. I wear a sweatshirt and 2 layers of sweats too, so that I'll sweat faster. So I think I'm working out harder. I do all sorts of lazy shit like that. So it's like,
the sweat you get in a fucking spin class, it's like nothing else.
Even at least even a spin class is cool because you're forced to like there's the all the different intensities. Yeah, I'm just not a fan of these machines dictating the outcome of events.
Is this a sponsorship deal?
I don't think so. I've joked around about that.
How could it not be?
Yeah, I mean, I've definitely joked around about that. There was a machine that they had in some events, Greg, called the torque tank, and it's this machine. It's fucking crazy. It's a sled with wheels, and the harder you push it, the harder it becomes. The faster you go with it, the harder it becomes to push. And I thought that was the antithesis of fucking something you just use in competition. Like, sure, great training tool, but you're actually telling me that you don't get rewarded for working harder. Like it has a max speed, right? It was fucking idiocy when I would see it in competitions. I would invalidate any competition that had one of those. It's fucking nuts. And they're a fortune. These are $5,000 sleds.
Dave.
What?
You must have had this talk with Dave.
Yeah. I've been fighting with him pretty good the last 3 or 4 days.
I was gonna say that must have gotten pretty sensitive pretty fast.
Oh, a couple times I've been hung up on. It's been the last few days have been pretty wild.
Will he come on your show?
Yeah, I'm sure next time he comes on here, we'll fight about it. He'll tell me some shit where I don't want to divulge what he's been saying, but he's been like trying. I know he's taking it seriously because he's been ass pounding me with data.
About what?
Like just showing me how the events would play out if there weren't the machines in them. But I haven't like.
Now that's where there's.
I haven't told him like, hey, that's not valid because the machine was in them. We have to do the test without the fucking machine in them.
Is he saying that that the workout would be deficient if you just took the machines out?
he's saying I probably shouldn't divulge too much of how much to talk, but let's say there's 1 minute on the assault bike, that the average time for people, and then the middle part of the workout was 4 minutes, and then the end was a minute on the assault bike. He's like, if you take out these times, look, it's still the same placement. But we can't know that, because what would happen, because everyone had to do that assault bike in the beginning. Just things like that. I mean, but I'm glad that he's thinking about it. And I'm open to being wrong, but it still won't change my opinion. I don't like them. I don't like the overuse of them. If you want to have it in one place in 12 workouts, I'm cool. If you want to sprinkle the rower in there, cool. But my statement on it was, they have these crossover double unders in the games. They've had it twice now. And I think machines should be used as often as those. Not like that. No. Well, they've had crossover double unders in the game twice in the last 5 years. And I don't think machines should be seen more than crossover double unders.
Hey, do you get that I don't think watching people work out is the same thing as training them?
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
One's eminently enjoyable and the other is like torture.
Well, and hey, the same, I don't enjoy watching people work out if I don't have a backstory on them. Do you know what I mean? Like, you could tell me that's the fittest guy in the world and I might be interested in him, but everyone below that, I have, or below her or him, I have no interest in, other than the fact that I understand, like my favorite CrossFit athlete's this guy, Colton Mertens. And it's because I know he works on a pig farm living with his dad. And he built his gym on his property. You know what I mean? Over the years, I've seen his story. So like, I'm invested like that, but I don't have any interest in it either, except for the human interest story. It's like when Chris Cooper comes on here, people love him because he has a lot of information about how to run an affiliate. I'm more interested in him as a person. Yeah. Like, holy shit, he did this.
For me, the personal part of the whole thing for me, first of all, it was easy and natural. I never watched the clock, which is a wonderful thing about any job, right? To not be looking at trying to see when you get off.
Right.
But for me, it was all about the stories that the clients had to tell me.
Yeah.
That's why I was there.
Yeah. I like the stories. Yes.
In their words, what was happening.
Yep.
Where I got to be amused that they thought they were telling me something I hadn't heard before. It's a hard thing to come to terms with the fact that this is universal to people doing this. If it's so wonderful, mm-hmm. You're sure that your orgasm and your chocolate is better than what other people are feeling. You mean
like someone's been in your gym for a week and they're like, I've gone down 2 shirt sizes, none of my clothes fit me.
Believe it.
And you're like, holy shit.
Everything.
I stopped eating sugar and I went down a shoe size. And you're like, oh wow, I've never heard that before.
John Kramer quit getting the big gulp on the way into Hughes in the morning and lost 65 pounds.
Wow. That's
nothing else. It was just fuck the big gulp. There's your Coke ad.
Yeah. I like hearing all their stories more than anything else. I'm so curious.
Why you do it? It's hey, when Robbie got to talk with her neurosurgeon long after her accident, he came on. It was during Christmas, and he was sitting by the fire with his Christmas sweater on. We're Zoom calling him, right? And he's like, "Hi, Robbie. Do you remember me?" And I'm Dr. Cheshire. And she's, yeah, Dr. Poopy Butthole, and walked. She said that to him. Yeah, Poopy Butthole. That's the best she could come up with. But she fucking remembers him. The critically injured 2-year-old remembers the fall and the surgery. 2 horrible things happened to her. First, she fell and got hurt. Then this fucking surgeon did this to my head. Mm-hmm. She didn't see one as corrective or necessary to the other. But the look on his face was horrific for me, because I know I get why he's in it. I know why he does what he does. Yeah. We see that. You feel some of that when someone tells you that, hey, I'm off all my diabetes meds, Mm-hmm. No more blood pressure med. It's gone. You fucking love that. And I wouldn't want someone to come up and tell me, hey, I've been doing your program for a year now. you poopy butthole trainer. You know what I mean? I totally get it. I felt so fucking bad for him.
Yesterday last night, there's a guy came on, Charlie Lawrence. It's his third time on the show. He holds the record for the fastest 50 miles ran in the world. And he went Germany. He went to the Porsche track with 4 other athletes. Adidas, he's this Adidas athlete, and they shut down this 12-mile track, perfect circle, 360-degree, circle, 12.5 miles. And him and 4 other runners were going to try to set the world record for 100K. And the previous record holder was in the group. The previous record was 6 hours and 5 minutes. And Charlie's goal was to break 6 hours on the run. And all I cared about was like, is the car in front of you electric? He said he had to stop and take a bathroom, and I wanted to hear all the details. Like, he's like, yeah, you run over to the side, you lower your pants. And I'm like, do you actually set your hamstrings on the guardrail? He's like, yeah, and you just take a shit. And I'm like, is it solid or does it blow out? He's like, just blows out. And then I'm like, oh, what do you do? Or do you start panicking that the guys are getting ahead? And I'm more interested in like his journey. I know pooping is not your subject, but I'm more interested in that journey. You know what I mean? I'm more interested in like, and he broke the world record, but he didn't win the race. Another a guy from, won the race. There's so much more interesting things in sports than the sports, like so much more interesting things.
Wait, if he couldn't, you can't break the world record and take second.
Yeah, the world record was 6 hours and 5 minutes. He ran it in 6:03.
First broke that.
What?
The guy who took
first. Right.
And then
right.
You're not breaking shit.
Oh, you're right. Okay, right.
He broke the previous record before the guy.
Right. Well, would the world record were not for the fact that it wasn't.
I stand corrected.
Yeah, that was how I told my parents my test scores back in high school.
I did better than last week. What'd you get?
Exactly.
A D minus.
Look at the comment. Pleasure to have in class. It's amazing. They love it.
Greg, cheers to changing my life and therefore allowing me to help change others.
Yeah, you're very welcome. Thank you for making me a part of that.
Yeah, the people are the most the people's stories are the most interesting thing by far. By far. It's just like when you're watching the Olympics, there's a guy on the bobsled team, and you have no interest in it, and they tell you he's homeless, and he's been living in a tent to save money for his bobsledding suit, and all of a sudden you're like rooting for him. Before then, you didn't give a shit about him.
I can't hear bobsledding without thinking of the story of a mutual friend of ours telling us about being roofied and raped by a bobsled Olympian. And her story was, he didn't even have to roofie me. I was all his.
Oh, that's right.
That whole thing was just so fucking appalling to me. Just such a trippy you mentioned bobsledding. I think of that.
Yeah, that's right. I forgot about that story. It wasn't until that last line that I remembered who it was.
A willing victim, huh?
I remember that. Wasted
a pill. Whatever it is. What is that, powder from a ring? What's the
it's weird. Bobsledding is kind of a weird sport too. I always feel like it's the throwaway. It's like you're desperate to go to the Olympics and there's nothing else you can do, so you're like, fuck it, I'll do bobsled. Like, you know what I mean? You didn't make it as a weightlifter or in the Olympic rugby team or some shit, so then you pivot to rugby. To bobsledding.
Everyone knew a story of a gymnast that dropped out at some moderate level, only to be seen on TV diving.
Oh, right.
What? That guy? No fucking way. It's like the guy that hung Saddam Hussein. Saddam's like, you? Fuck. He was more bothered by the putz that was hanging him than he was that he was about to die.
Like getting your ass kicked by the Lilliputians.
Yeah. Clearly adding insult to injury. You want to be hanged by your betters, right?
Yeah,
absolutely.
Totally.
Yeah,
or at least something formidable. Hey, I'm going to show you this video. I'm going to show you guys this video. It's a little long. I'll pause it along the way so we can comment on it. This is the inbred country of Iceland. 300,000 Icelandic people living on an island, all related to each other. This is in their capital. Check this out. I saw this the other day. I didn't even know how to fucking process this.
Nursery school in the capital, Reykjavik. They do things a bit differently. The boys and the girls are separated for most of the day and are encouraged to do things usually associated with the opposite sex. The girls are taught to be unapologetic and fierce. Meanwhile, the boys are doing something very different. They're getting in touch with their caring side, giving each other compliments and massages.
Wow. Reminds me of my early days.
Listen, they have a massage your classmate section.
That's wild.
What the fuck is going on? You separated the boy, your teeth.
It's a teaching method called Hjalli. The idea...
Wait till you see the instructor who invented this program. It is great. Wait till you see the instructor.
...is that they develop their personalities without the pressures and constraints of conventional gender stereotypes. About 8% of children in Iceland attend these schools, and demand is growing.
We need to start at the very
That's the teacher.
beginning. 2 years old, they have formed their idea of what it means to be a boy or a girl, and that will limit them for the next years. Girls are deprived of so many possibilities. We are compensating by giving them this opportunity to show their strength. Same with boys. We also need to give them compensation for what they have been deprived of based on gender, giving them the possibility of being more social, not only individually strong as they are, but helping them to train the kindness and closeness. I love what I'm doing. We all do. We believe that we are changing the world.
This is Laufensberg.
They hate their boys.
Holy shit.
They fucking hate their boys.
They've got this. If you start that again and look at, there was a little phrase there of about 6 or 7 words that you could have just substituted biology in for those words.
Right. That's what I was thinking the whole time.
Without the handicap, and it was their socially constructed notion of blah blah, whatever the fuck it was, liberal talk. But if you use biology in there, you would actually have something. So they're gonna get these kids to they're gonna free them of the constraints of biology.
Yeah, that's the way I see it too. Their biology. We're gonna reprogram and put them in conflict with their biology for the rest of their life.
Which is just going to that's just going to initiate some sort of internal battle that they're going to have with themselves, and then later they'll diagnose them with a mental health problem and give them pills for it. They're just setting them up for internal conflict.
Grooming them to be husbands to the libs in the U.S. Hey,
Yes.
and those women won't be happy with those men.
That's my theory on that. Emasculated town, some of the early and obvious damages to women.
Because they can't find a mate that's biologically appropriate.
Hey, all of the name brand female athletes from Santa Cruz, had enormous man problems out of the local cadre.
Yep.
Erasing toxic masculinity.
Yes. Fondle. That's great.
That's a good name. All I see it as is like the whole role reversal thing just seems like one big play for obedience. Uh-oh. Someone's frozen.
Oh, am I?
Oh,
am
you're
I
back. You're back. You're back. I just see it as one big play for obedience. You're just creating obedient men.
Yep.
And then you're going to create some sort of disobedient women, but by and large, they're not gonna go start a war, right? No matter how disobedient they are. But the men being feminized like that and told that, you know, they're against their biology is wrong, also just neuters them in a sense. And so it just looks to me as just like one big generational obedience play.
I was thinking of all the things that naturally I did with my friends. If we were at someone's house, you know, at 7 years old, and we were in the front yard, we would start wrestling each other, throwing rocks. Like rock throwing was like the cornerstone of my childhood. Like every time you were walking, because I used to walk to and home from school, and you were just always throwing something. You know what I mean? Where you always had a stick in your hand, and you'd see how many times you could break it in half. And it's just insane to me that they have a fucking massage session in the school with the boys at that age. I'm fucking like tripping.
I would venture to guess that most of the CrossFitting dads that have daughters, have witnessed firsthand the unbridled, bizarre-like enthusiasm for pink cowboy boots. It's a fucking craziest thing. Of 3 or 4 year old girl, 2-year-old girl, 3, 4 will see pink cowboy boots from across the fucking store. All my girls did. They've all had them.
Yeah.
And then they want to sleep with them. And you know, like my girls, Rhett's got 4 sisters. So they're watching Frozen, and they don't recognize he's coming to the room unless he stands between them and TV set. And he looks at it, and he looks at them, and he looks at it, and he looks at me, and he looks at them, and he looks at it, and he's just like, he can't even fucking begin to wrap himself around it. So he'll reach over and rip the head off of a Barbie, and then he gets beat up by 4 little girls, you know?
He gets jumped.
That's how he interacts with them.
Yeah.
And here's
Ignore me. What do you think of this?
And here's the other crazy thing. I can't think of a more feminine 11-year-old girl than Riley, and I can't think of a tougher girl than 11-year-old girl than Riley. She'll be the first one to throw fists, and she'll be the first one to be brushing her hair, and she'll be the first one to catch a snake, and she'll also be the first one to say, "Hey, that boy's cute." I mean, it's fucking nuts to me that you think that you're going to somehow. She even said they're going to compensate.
Mm-hmm.
You're going to compensate for his biology?
Check this out for being a 10-year-old boy with 4 sisters, and one of whom won't hesitate to flatten your nose on your face with a fist. But he came in the other day and he says, Robbie opened up her vagina at me. I was like, that's one of those sentences you wonder if it's ever been uttered before, right?
Yeah.
What do you mean opened up her vagina at you? He's yes. And I'm like, why? So I called her forward, and she's like, yeah, I know he hates that. Did something to her. Took something. So she pulled out the secret weapon.
There's a
I told him, don't worry, kid. One day it'll all make sense. It won't, but there's nothing you can do about it.
Before we homeschooled, we sent our kids to Montessori, the same school Greg sent his kids to, and only one who went there was Avi. He was I think he did kindergarten there. And by the way, they completely ruined the school. Fucking crazy school. It's $2,300 a month, and they have scholarship programs. So you get parents in there who really want their kids to be there, and then you get it's a fucking mess. You don't get what you pay for. Anyway, and there's a flow master in town, and he had 2 daughters in the school, and one of the daughters went to the school. And Avi just told me this story about a year ago, you know, 4 years after it happened. And he's like, the word vagina came up. He goes, "Oh, I've seen a vagina before." And I go, "Well, mom's?" And he goes, No, I see hers all the time. I saw one at Montessori. I'm like, "What do you mean?" And he's like, "I was sitting at the desk with so-and-so, and the kid across the desk said, 'Hey, look under the table.'" Looked under the table. Had the legs wide open and holding the vagina open. He told me.
God.
I'm like, "What'd you think?" He's like, "She wanted to see mine." I'm like, "What'd you do?" He's like, "I showed it to her. It was a trade." I was like, "All right."
Yeah.
All right.
The barter system, also in our biology.
Yeah. Right there. I go, "That was just in the middle of class." He goes, "Yeah, we were just sitting there like during cooking time or necklace making time. I just looked under the table."
It sounds like there was consent in both parties.
Yeah, I'm glad she went first.
It was a
I'm glad it
meeting
was
of the
her
minds.
idea.
We have the making of a legal contract here.
Sevon, please convince Greg to buy back CrossFit. We get Froning to get his affiliates to ride. Greg buys back for cheap, gives it to the people. Yeah, that's what he wants to do. Buy it and give it to the people. He already put in a bid. $11 million.
And I would, at that price, I'd give it away. I got $11 million worth of charity in me for that.
Awesome. I'll start my nonprofit up.
My assumption is the price is in free fall.
Yeah. They're going to have a hell of a time getting it off, especially.
What you don't want to do is beat the drum loudly, announce a sale, attempt to turn that into a live auction, and they did. And then you got no bidders that you can brag about. Like, you shit. That's rough.
Hey, is it complicated to is the sale like extremely complicated?
It was when I sold.
Was there any concern that the person who was buying it from you didn't have the money?
None.
Okay, so the money gets validated, and then it's just going through the books.
All the doubt was they doubted everything about the business, everything, which makes sense. I mean, I would check too. But their investigation, I'll share with you, it was very similar in scope and effort to what 60 Minutes put in. 60 Minutes diligence exceeded all the journalism I've seen combined on CrossFit. But one of the complicating factors was the effort that was put into hiding who was actually coming up with the money. But the people that were orchestrating the fair had more than that kind of capital themselves. And so they weren't going to be ripped off by someone. You know what I mean? They weren't going to waste their time.
When you say that they did diligence, like if you told them, "Hey, we have 10 affiliates," they're like, they wanted to see them. Or if you said we were selling.
If you got someone at Summit that's sitting on $300 billion telling you this guy's good for 200,
yeah,
just to accept that.
But right.
They're not, you know, if they're going to represent that and they're telling you he's good, you're good.
But I mean,
we're not going to tell you who that is, but don't worry.
But on the other end, what you were saying at first, they really kick the tires, meaning it's not like buying a car and it's a one of one, and they want to make sure that everything that you're saying that you're selling them is true.
We turned over our Salesforce records to them, and they squared them with the NetSuite accounting, finance, and then manually called many affiliates.
And then they do the same with seminars too, to make sure you're not the seminar sales are accurate.
That was it was very much a very detailed anal probe. I mean, they had access to everything. And there's an enormous reluctance for current ownership to do something similar, and it affects the people that will come forward. Like there's not your reticence for diligence speaks volumes.
Right.
It really doesn't need interpreting. You know, like I'm a cop and you got your hand behind your back, I'm comfortable assuming it's a gun. When I
Right.
blow your brains out, oh, we just had a soda cracker. I feel bad, but I like that's what it was. Hey, TJ Cooper had a great story to tell. He was patrolling in Jacksonville before he was super cop, and he saw a guy in a trench coat with a briefcase, looked like the old Spy versus Spy kind of guy. Is what the image I got, you know. And it's 105 out and 90% humidity. Dude's got this long trench coat and a briefcase. And the guy sees him and hides the briefcase and ducks down and goes into an alley. So he's like, oh, back the car up, go down the alley. And the guy's walking down the alley. He sees him put the briefcase in front of him. And then he's fiddling with it. And he tells on the PA, tells him to drop the briefcase and walk over to the wall. Put your hands in the air, please. And he sees all kinds of from the back fiddling, right, working. And he romps on it and hits the guy and he looks in the rearview mirror and he sees thousands of papers, like just garbage papers. The briefcase come open, the guy's laying there on the ground. It was just insane is all. He had a briefcase full of papers. And
secret papers.
Secret papers, yeah.
Yes.
And his story is, you know, he felt really bad for the guy. Like, geez, had I known, I wouldn't have done that. But that doesn't approach regret. You don't, oh, I wish I hadn't done that. I thought he was going to pull out an Uzi, you know?
Yeah.
Greg is hitting the nail on the head. Part of the due diligence process is just asking the questions and being allowed to dig in. If there's pushback, that's smoke over the fire.
Of course it is. Of course it is. It's a dangerous game to play. And some of the I think that, you know, and I only hear rumor, right? God knows if any of it's true. So I can't, and there's no malice to it. I would be very careful about jerking around entities sitting on hundreds of billions of dollars cash. You play that uncool and you'll end up with some litigation you have no chance over. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Like that's a nightmare, right or wrong, justified or not, to find out that someone sitting on $300 billion thinks that your behavior is not good behavior. That's risky shit. They'll demonstrate that in a Delaware court, and I've seen people. We've done it. CrossFit's done it to people. We'll put you up against a spend you're not ready for. Dude, I spent $1 million in legal fees to keep some fucking crooked asshole from getting $10,000. And I had lawyers introduce themselves to me. This is where, this is how we met Siskron and what's the sweet lawyer's name? He's a good dude.
Jeff Westermore.
Yes, Westmoreland. Jeff.
Westmoreland, yeah, great dude.
You spent $1 million to keep some asshole from getting $10,000. Believe me, everyone in the legal community knows this.
I also
Dan McDougall had said that when he was a injury attorney, that it was either State Farm or Allstate. When he found out that you had that insurance, he's like, I don't think we're a good match for each other, because they'd spend a fortune. They looked at everything in terms of the marginal costs, and that's what I did in that $10,000. And the deal was these guys wanted to make a $10,000 claim on a bullshit rhabdo case. And you know what was funny than that? Our attorneys didn't figure it out, but my dad looked into the background of the friend that picked him up to go to the gym, and the friend that picked him up to take him to the gym had sued big pharma over rhabdo and antihistamine successfully and serially. So the story became my rhabdo attorney friend picked me up to take me to the CrossFit gym, and guess what happened? I got fucking rhabdo.
Hey, Greg, how many sets?
That jury that went to a jury trial and it came back with 0.
Did you guys end up suing him for false claims?
He didn't have anything.
Didn't the NSCA switch lawyers several times? Weren't they just going through lawyers? I remember sitting in a meeting once and we're like, oh, all new lawyers.
Right. It's funny, like, to have a good sense of it. You think I'd know who their counsel was, too.
I think
we spend more time dealing with people that weren't their counsel, like Lanny Davis. Now, I want to remind you again, he'd leave messages. I am not an attorney in this party, but I am close friends with someone who's very concerned about the outcome of this case. He's leaving me messages on a phone that we don't even answer. It's just there so that we can answer the gate in Kauai. You know, when someone brings at the gate, you have to have a landline and hit 9 to let them in. That's the only reason we had the phone. And I got Lanny fucking Davis on Thanksgiving Day leaving me messages on that phone. And including lies. He left I've called your attorney 3 times and not gotten a return call. And Marshall's like, that's a lie. How would I not return Lanny Davis's call?
There was also a time we went to a meeting and their lawyers said that they wouldn't meet with you because they were scared for their safety.
Yeah.
I was like, what the fuck do they think's going to happen? We're going to come here and fight them?
They didn't want me in the room, and it was fear of physical safety. And then the guys came in the room and they're all 300 fucking pounds with suits on.
And that was
the upper brass at NSCA was kind of like I guess football players that aren't fucking stupid. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
They end up at the NSCA if you're a football player and got brains, but they all look like linemen in suits, and they were afraid of me.
Why would they make that claim? Just to push you out of the room? So
they didn't want me. We were doing court-ordered mediation, and it required that we sit face-to-face and talk, and that almost queered the mediation. So I had to be flex cuffed to the chair or some fucking thing. I promised it. And you know what's funny is, like, once they came in, I felt like attacking them. It never occurred to me before, but I'm like, wow, I think I could pull it off. I think I kicked the shit out of these guys.
I think that to be honest, and I think I really believe this, I think they were afraid to sit with you intellectually. They knew that if you got into an argument with them, you were gonna fuck them up and paint them looking so bad.
And
yeah.
One of them had said that in deposition that they never considered CrossFit a competitor. And then we produced the competitive analysis of CrossFit and NSCA written by this guy. He penned it. And so the federal judge calls him a perjurer. Oh, you're a perjurer. And later she would in rulings and filings refer to the perjurer by name as a perjurer.
Do you remember this too? At that mediation, you went to the bathroom and one of the lawyers was in there and he all of a sudden was like, I'm a huge fan. I love CrossFit. Do you remember that shit?
Yeah, he wanted me to take him over to 620 Water Street where it started, where it was now a Gold's Gym. If you just go in there with me, And then we saw him later at dinner and he's all about asking for autographs. They got rid of that guy.
They did. Yeah. I remember that. You're like,
telling Dale, I kicked fucking ass in that deposition. He goes, dude, they gave you a fucking blowjob. What are you talking about? You didn't kick shit. They'd be like, tell again, where? Like right over there? No kidding. Wow. This must be a hell of an experience. I feel like I'm getting set up, right?
CrossFit Gator just got a shipment here in Sweden from Vindicate. 3 shirts, 2 patches, and the CEO coffee mug. The taxes are expensive, but fuck, it was worth it. Love you guys. Thank you. Appreciate it. That's you keep the lights on over here. Devesh Mahara. Greg knew exactly what he had, so it was easy to convince the buyers of its value. Berkshire has no idea what they own, so they can't show its value to anyone.
No, I think they do know too, but they have an unwilling audience, and that would look like fish oil, dumbbells. You know, the play for Rogue is almost an NBA IQ test.
What's like an MBA IQ test? MBA?
If you don't look over at Bill and Katie and go, hey, we could have a lot of that.
Oh, right.
Yeah. Do you think, because I've heard,
I think the game plan too would be to offer something that was very attractive to Bill and Katie. I think they could be, you know, I like them both and I consider them friends maybe, but, and so I would hope they'd hear this and have defense against it. But I would just, if I put my MBA hat on, I don't have one, but if I did, I would think that they would be likely victims of a Trojan horse.
I also think they have a lot of
that is an
power.
Incredible deal that then changes over time. They would get on the salmon train. That's what Costco does to people. That's what they call it, the salmon train.
I don't think Bill and Katie can be manipulated like that. I don't think that, and I also think Bill and Katie have, like in a gunfight, I think that they show up with a loaded gun where a lot of people have shot their bullets. I don't think that they've ever. I think that they're significantly, like, they're a sleeping giant. You know what I mean in terms of that respect. I think if someone did something like that, they have ways of fighting. I don't know what they are, but that would be nuclear.
We going to breakfast?
I don't think that they have their back against the wall. From Sweden, Swedish Democrats is a shitty partial party here in Sweden, but they have one question that many people like, and is it like Trump?
It's supposed to be a political party.
Oh, sorry, thank you. Is a shitty political party here in Sweden, but they have one question that many people like, and is like Trump, send home people who doesn't have a job and doing crimes. I mean, you guys have the shit your president's been saying is absolutely crazy in Sweden. That he said he lost control of the country. You guys have more than 60 no-go zones. If the shit we're reading in the media is true about Sweden, Sweden's fallen. You have more bombings than any other non-war country in the history of the world. You have like a bombing a day. Is it really like that there? It's nuts. If you just type in Sweden and hit the news.
Have you talked to the European affiliates about Europe?
Go
We
ahead.
did a little Europe tour and talked to a good number of Frenchmen and Italians and Greeks and amongst my affiliates, my friends, and the police. There's an assumption of Europe's light about to go out.
I mean,
take any of those people we love over there and ask them what's going on, and you get a doomsday scenario.
The top 3 countries in the world that have in terms of having non-citizens. I was looking at the stats yesterday. I was chatting with Suze about it late night. Australia's 30% immigrants. Canada's 25%, and Germany is 21%. And there's some crazy statistics about birthing coming out of France. In France, their birth rate is 1.6. So every couple is having 1.6 kids. So they're below the threshold of population replacement. But within that, the immigrants, Muslims specifically, theirs is like 8. So they're replacing at a crazy rate. There's some crazy shit happening in terms of immigration and cultural shifts on the planet that Australia is nuts. I bet you one of these countries like Australia, if you left Australia 15 years ago and you went back today, I don't think you'd recognize it. It is what's happening, and it's interesting. Australia is mostly Chinese and Indian people, and Canada's a lot of Chinese people. But it looks like Europe is mostly Middle Eastern people, and it's wild. It's wild. The immigration thing is wild.
And they're
I've
having
become
babies.
friendly with a cop that's in a position in France very much equivalent to like FBI hostage rescue, kind of your tier 1 TAC ops kind of deal, right? And the guy's been 14 years on the team, and he makes 39,000 euros a year.
Oh wow.
And if he has to get a crown on a tooth, the out of pocket is very, very significant. The people that come over and just get off the boat and are welcomed with open arms, they have that same insurance, but they don't have a copay. So he says everyone comes over with rotten teeth and ends up with perfect teeth before they've even, thought about employment. They start working those benefits and ask, what's at play here? And he goes, well, it's pretty easy. Whoever gives you the passport, you'll vote for that party. And so we've had a good chunk of the community, political community, willing to trade votes to destroy the country. And I go, oh, that's what the Dems are doing in the United States. I mean, Epoch Times called the whole border crisis during the Obama presidency, during Obama. They said it was about making Arizona, Texas, and Florida blue. The whole open border was just about
But
that.
didn't Obama deport like 5 million people? They called him the deporter in chief.
Yeah, I don't deport or turn back at the gate. I don't know.
But I mean, definitely during the Biden years. I mean, these I mean, we've all seen the stories of the town, in the Midwest where they dropped off 30,000 Haitians in a town that only had a population of 20,000. I mean, I don't know what the fuck you're gonna think's gonna happen.
The left used to hide what they were doing at the border. And then in the Biden years, they quit pretending.
Mm-hmm. Gets harder to hide it too with the amount of information access, phones and internet, and it's like a fire hose of shit coming at you.
Yeah, Europe looks like it's toast.
Yeah, it sure does. And Iceland's not going to be far behind if they turn all their boys into girls.
Obedience.
Hear that noise? It's a seaplane.
Oh. Did you guys fly out there on a seaplane?
We did, in fact.
I saw it. Looked cool.
And then there's like 1,000 meters from here is a field with some King Airs on it, Bruce said.
How's you found a breakfast spot? How many days have you been there?
2.
Oh, you found a breakfast spot yet?
Yeah, there's a place that serves breakfast.
And who's there right now? Is it like is that a kind of place? But I mean, in the summer on that island, is the population double?
Oh yeah, there's people who live here year round.
Oh, but shitloads of also like what are they called? Summer birds or?
I think so.
Yeah. It seems like it'd be the kind of place where the population would double during the summer.
I would think so.
Any issues getting into Canada? Or wait, are you in Canada?
I'm not in Canada, and I'm not going.
Oh.
You're in the boat and you're like, there's the border. Yeah, I'm going to scoot over a mile or two.
Just stay on the right side of it, right?
I'd almost rather go to Syria.
Syria's cool when it's not warring. All right. Well, thank you, Greg.
Thank you. How are you, Matt?
I'm good. Just coaching the morning classes. That's why I was a little bit behind here. We had 20 people at 5:30 a.m. as school's back now.
Wow.
Isn't that great?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
What's the connection there? Their kids are gone, and so the parents can go come to
they
class?
just gotta go earlier. Not the kids are gone. Usually more of them have to get it done earlier now that they got to take the kids and do the drop off or whatever the case may be.
Yeah.
So they get done at 6:30 and race home and take their kids to school.
Yep.
Their kids are just waking up.
Yep. Yeah, it's a good class. I enjoy coaching those early morning classes. I don't enjoy waking up when the alarm goes off at 4:40, but that's only the first 5 minutes. Then after that, it's
Did
great.
you get driven to school?
No.
Yeah,
No.
me neither.
No, but my younger brother did because by that time I had a permanent license and I made sure he was tortured every way of it as I explained to him how I either rode a skateboard, walked, or it wasn't that far, so I never really took the bus that much. But
I in the 6th grade, my mom started driving me to school, and we put the bike on the it was like 7 miles from my house. So I'd put the bike on the bike rack, and she'd drive me to school, and then I'd ride home.
Yeah, I rode my bike a lot too. That was like the best time. That little strip from each school to the house was a little piece of freedom, you know?
Yes, I loved riding my bike home. It sucked though when other kids would pop your tire and you go out to get on your bike and your tire's flat. That shit sucked.
Did they pop your tire?
Probably like 3 times in the 6th, 7th, and 8th grade. Probably once a year, I'd go out there and I'd have a flat, you know. And I always just assumed some kid did it, some asshole kid did it. I mean, I never had any suspects in mind. I didn't know anyone who was out to get me, but I just assumed. I didn't think it popped on, you know what I mean? Like it was full when I had it on the back of my mom's car. And then I'd lock it up in the bike rack area, and then I'd come back and fuckers popped.
Fucked up.
Yeah.
Dude, I would have acted on that.
Just start beating kids up. So you
Start
found
popping
one.
everybody's tires.
Kind of ran a little criminal element, you know, stake someone out on the bikes, see who's behind it.
Yeah. Then walking my bike home 7 miles.
I used to my thoughts on bike theft was that you ought to be hanged like they did with horse thieves. An inconceivable inconvenience to lose my bike, right?
Yeah.
And fucking like being a paraplegic or something.
And every 10 minutes on the walk, you get on the bike, think, well, I'll just ride it a little bit. And then you ride it. And eventually by the time you get home, the fucking tire's off the bike and it's just on the rim. And
you want to be on a TV show? You don't. Come say hi. Come here. Don't eat the fairy wing. No, look. This is Reason.
Hi.
Hi, Reason.
Hi.
Good morning. Reason, you excited to come to Santa Cruz?
Yeah.
Good. Can't wait to see you.
She's great. She's a character. Crazy articulate.
How old is she now?
5.
Crazy.
And I think she weighs 60 pounds.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah, she's thick and strong.
Yeah. Wow, that's more than Ari.
She's bigger than Robbie, but it doesn't buy her much. And Rhett goes, that's because of Robbie's aggression. That's very well put. Exactly correct.
Is she taller than Robbie?
Yeah, a little bit taller and maybe 10 pounds heavier, and it's all for nothing.
Robbie will still put it to her.
Oh. Hey, my redheads come with the built-in the physics of violence.
Yeah.
So you see these crazy things like, who would have ever thought to while one kid's brushing their teeth, standing on a throw rug, to walk up behind him, grab the corner of the rug and deadlift it as fast as you can. Like, wow, like cartoon shit. You know what I mean?
Is cartoon shit.
Yeah.
I was just thinking of a cartoon.
Yeah, but we weren't watching cartoons. That's just inbred. I watched Caitlin once in some fight with Colleen, and they're both way preteen, you know, like 6 and 7. But they're having this big debate, and they're face to face, and it's getting pretty heated. And then Caitlin's like, fuck it, just throws her hands up, turns this half turn, balls up a fist, and comes back around where the right hand, the left hand's up blocking, and the right hand comes over the shoulder, suddenly visible, and it's a solid connect, and Colleen just goes back. And I was like, man, the feign, the form, everything about that was just fucking perfect. You could do that to anyone, anywhere, really. And you'd spend years teaching a kid that.
But when they have red hair, they come with that preload.
Oh yeah, yep,
It's built in.
Yep. Half turn to right. This isn't for me, and it comes back, and it's brutal. I like seeing it in a girl.
Yeah.
I told you Colleen's going to get her brown belt.
I know. That's amazing.
They're coming out for 10 through 15 October.
Oh,
and
to Larkin
Rita
Valley.
and family are coming out. Yeah, we're coming out to Larkin, and we've had a family tree put together by Mormons.
Oh,
And it's there's a lot of it that I think is just funny as hell. But like my mom's family in Alabama, that part of the family tree looks like a bush. It doesn't. There's almost nothing. No, my grandpa used to say, when I go, "Where do we come from?" He'd go, "What do you mean, boy?" And I go, "Where do we come from?" He goes, "Right here, Cullenberg." And I go, "No, but before that." He goes, "There is no before that." And he's, "Don't you know about Adam and Eve?" And I'm like, "Yeah." He goes, "It was right here, right here."
Oh, that's awesome.
So I'm like, "All right." Well, the family tree, it doesn't have a good case against that. It's trippy, right?
They're coming out.
And then how about in Maggie's family? Her mom's side were the Rozunkos, or the dad's side of Rita, of the grandparents.
Yeah.
And they were spelling the name wrong. It dead ends somewhere in Czechoslovakia or something, but the family tree was rediscovered and picked back up in Hungary, but it was Rozunko with an M, not an N.
Oh.
Fatal typo.
So, yeah, someone fucked up and it just stuck.
Hey, did you mean September 10th to the 15th or October?
I think it's October, which was surprising to me too. But the kids have so much; they're not coming in September. Yeah, it was October. I've already checked once before.
Okay, so
October.
you're hanging out in Santa Cruz for a minute.
I want to be there until we have to go back for ISR for Dumpling. She starts her. That'll be my 9th kid to complete that.
And you're doing that in will your new pool be done by then?
No, that'll be the last thing. They'll be filling that days before we. Hey, the liability on a full pool is nuts for the builder.
Mm.
Oh, gotcha. They got to leave so none of the workers fall in.
Yeah, they neighbors.
Right, the fencing, all that shit.
Yeah. All right, thank you, everyone. I enjoy you guys. You're fun.
Thanks. Yeah, it's a good time.
Thank you, Greg, for always coming
All
on.
right, Matt. Let's talk, buddy. I want to share some science shit with you.
Oh, please, anytime.
All right, dude.
All right, brother. Thank you.
Bye, Sevi. Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.
Greg Glassman, week 752.
Good run.
I had so much fun yesterday with the shows. I've had so much fun the last 3 or 4 days.
Yeah, the first guy was funny. I knew he was going to be kind of like, his sense of humor was interesting when you were like, "Okay, now you say," and he's like, "Sevon." And I'm like, "No."
Oh, yeah.
Your name, like, that was like the first, minute or two of the show, and I was like, "Okay, he should be good." Charlie's always awesome, though.
Charlie's awesome. I was laying in bed with Haley last night, and I was just so fucking pissed because I had this whole plan to ask Vitamer about his experiences getting close to death. And I had it in my notes, and I never even got to that. Here's a guy who's held his breath for 29 minutes. And I just wanted to ask him like at least some questions about religion or where he thinks, and I never even got to that. I never even, the thing what was interesting about him is I never got a read on him. Like never, ever. He was very, I don't know if he was doing his breathing exercises while we were on the show, but we never got into like a
flow.
Yeah, I mean, I really enjoyed him.
Right.
But I never we were never like holding hands and running through the field together.
Yeah, but also too, I think that there's certain things with people like him, meaning like these record holders that just do these insane feats, right? That maybe you have to have that a little bit. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like,
a little bit of like a little autism or something, a little.
Yeah. And I don't even know if it's like you have to be a little bit removed, I suppose, from social norms to accomplish a lot of the things that people like him do at like the highest level. Because the ability to block everything out, whether you're like this Elon Musk type or whether you're holding your breath or whether you're like Charlie. I mean, Charlie has a lot more social inept, but like he not inept, but like IQ.
I
He
know what you meant. The opposite of inept.
yeah.
I know what you meant.
I'm inept. But yeah, you have to have a little bit of that to like stay so hyper focused, right?
So
At least I assume so.
Yeah, along those lines, I was thinking he's had so much experience dealing with emotions that he's transcended so many emotions, and those are usually like what I'm picking up off of someone on the phone, emotions, and then how they manifest in the face and how I'm reacting to them. And I just noticed that he wasn't cueing me in ways that other people cue me. So I never got into a flow. Like, it was a shortcoming on my part to like be like, I guess I kept waiting to see something so that I could get into this other kind of conversation, and I just wasn't picking up from it. But I just assumed it's like, because that his art is not reacting to emotions and thoughts, right? That's that's his specialty.
Think about it. If you like, if I could probably, knowing you as well as I know, start planting some stories, and you'll get a physiological response from it, right?
Right.
Like, hey, Sevon, what would you do if this homeless guy, and all of a sudden you start really taking yourself there, and your heart rate's going to go.
You know where to put me in my memory. Yeah.
Yes. You get that neck breathing and everything else. So like, you can't afford that with what he does, because you're just sucking up oxygen. So like, again, you got to be able to like switch all of that off in order to conserve as much as possible. There's no way you do it at the level that he does for as long as he's been doing. What did he say, it was like 3 or something like that when
it doesn't affect your character overall.
No way.
That's why at one point I asked him, I said, hey, have you changed a lot over time? Because I was wondering, I was like, man, is this practice changing? Tennis players are weird like that, or anyone who has super high focus sports like that.
Yeah.
I always just think, oh, that guy probably wasn't always like that. But I was watching tennis yesterday, and I think it's the US Open that's on, and those motherfuckers are out there for fucking 2.5 hours staring at a ball. It's like, holy shit, it's crazy. I highly recommend anyone who's even if you're not into tennis, the US Open, Novak Djokovic is going to play Alcaraz either tomorrow or the next day. And this is some really fucking high level shit. It's going to be once in a lifetime on ESPN. I highly recommend watching it.
And that's only the time that they're playing. All the practice time, all the visualization, all the time that they're thinking about it as well too.
Yeah.
Like, it's just becomes a real hyper focused type of thing. Yeah,
and then if you're always like this, if you're looking at the world like this, then for 30 years in your practice, it probably is. It starts to manifest in your entire personality, right?
Yes, I mean that's why when you message Tyler and I, which is often like right as I'm in bed, like writing a book or something, and then you get going. One of the main things that I liked about that predictive history YouTube channel is anything that challenges just any normal narrative we hear, I enjoy. Right. Not that I'm like, oh, I believe this now. It's like anytime I could open my aperture wider, like anytime I could open that scope, and all of a sudden I'm like, whoa, this whole like ritual of human sacrifice that has existed through all of our civilizations in the past. Yeah. Like, when did it end? Did it end? Like, just that thought of that, right? Because I think a lot of the times too, like, okay, look at the months, right? How the months get their name. When did it change? Why did it change? Like, just different things like that, that even though it seem trivial, it gives you this whole different perspective on, holy crap, I never thought of it that way. Or I never actually, what's the saying? Like, we question everything except for the stuff we don't even know to question. So for me, it's always like, where's the blind spot? Like, what type of belief do I hold? When was that belief implanted? And like, can we break that? Not in the sense of like, whatever, it's going to completely change the way I behave. It might, if it's good enough, it's a paradigm shift, right? But I just enjoy that type of stuff a lot.
I know this is falling into the weeds, but all of the descriptions he gave for human sacrifice, even the Aztecs and all that, I don't think that fits the definition of sacrifice. So I think he was using the word wrong, but it's similar along that vein. someone a few years ago pointed out to me that abortion is sacrifice, and I go, and then I was like, they're like, it's someone, and the example they gave is you get pregnant, but you want to go to law school, and so you kill the baby to sacrifice it for your goal, for your goals. Whereas when he's saying that the Aztecs would gather their enemies and kill them, I'm like, I don't really see that as sacrifice. I see that as
well, aren't they doing it for their resources and their goals?
But they're not sacrificing anything. Sacrifice is you're trading something of yours, in my mind. Do you know what I mean? For something else. So like I will sacrifice my desire to be on the podcast to get off earlier so that I can train. You know what I mean? Or something like that. I just see as killing your enemies is not sacrifice, but self-preservation, maybe. I don't know. Maybe they're related. But the abortion thing really fucking resonates with me with sacrifice. Like, hey, you're killing that baby because you're not willing to take the responsibility of your previous actions.
Yeah. And so that's why in that text that I sent you, I was like, he didn't mention this, but that's immediately where my mind went right now. When he was talking,
is abortion?
Yes.
Yeah, that's exactly where I went too. Yeah.
As the human sacrifice. I was like, holy crap. Because I was trying to find evidence of it not existing. Right. Yeah. The other thing that you had mentioned was like this guy either would like doesn't believe in the individual or something like that. I couldn't remember the way that you had like phrased it. But
He talks a lot. It seems like he's, because of his Chinese upbringing, he's really bent on hive mind.
Yes.
Like he's really interested in hive mind because that's the way that Asian communities, you know, are.
And I see immediately where I took it wasn't necessarily in like a political, not in political is not the right term, but I didn't take it in like collectivism right away. I thought about it in the sense of if you're always so obsessed with yourself and then you move to like these therapies or different things to find the resolution for that, you're still so inward. And I know, at least for me personally, some of the things that really make me feel the best is like this outward help, right? And like Grace's grandmother used to say it, it's like, hey, the best cure for the depression is just go outside and just help some strangers. Yeah. And so for me, I take it right away because when he gets into like the multiple gods or even in monotheism, right? So if I were to ask you like, hey, Sevon, right now, rather than worrying about your depression or what you're feeling right now, what if I just told you to get in favor with God? How would you act? How do you do that? How do you get in favor in God? Like literally, like I'm asking.
Help him take care of his children. Help other people because those are God's children. Serve God's children. Yeah.
Yes. So like your ability to get in favor with God or gods or whatever your belief is there is to go out and work in a way that is going to be helpful to others and to society. Yeah. And so that's the big takeaway that I did, because if I told you like, hey, Sevon, you're feeling down, have you talked to somebody? Right? Because and then what happens when you go see that therapist? Who are we talking about? You.
Yeah.
That's right. So now it's all internal and it's all, me, I feel, okay, well now let's find where's that trauma coming from, Sevon? Go deep inside of you. Right. And so like, I don't know if that's as helpful as like, hey, why don't you go ahead and just get in favor with God, or however you want to say that, rather than worrying about yourself. Why don't you go out and do some sort of act of kindness? And this is why they oftentimes, with people with a lot of depression that won't take care of themselves, you'll see them get some small animal. My grandmother was like that. She was an alcoholic all our lives growing up. And so we didn't really have much of a relationship with her, but she just cared about all these animals. And one time I asked my mom, I was like, what the fuck does grandma care about this hamster or this goddamn gerbil or some shit, but she's not present with us at Christmas? I couldn't wrap my head around that, right? But every time she would like go to like seek this help, again, it was like her, and they would try to do other things, but like, it's just interesting to think about it in the sense of like, hey, lose yourself for a second. And with going out there and helping, you might actually find inner peace.
Hey, along those lines, feelings are like that. And so if someone does something to you and it upsets you and you start having feelings about it, your brain will start spinning a narrative around those feelings. And it will start making your feelings very real. And then you'll have this story. And eventually, if you want happiness in your life, you're going to have to transcend that story and let it go. So as you get more advanced as a practitioner in mindfulness, those are the things you have to stop. You have to stop the story. You have to just sit with the feeling, let the feeling do its thing. Do not let a narrative spin up. And that's the problem with so many people. Like when my boys sometimes are going through hard shit or they're crying, I don't do things to help them facilitate a narrative. There's this confusion that they think a narrative will help you get in touch with their feelings.
Right.
I accept their feelings just as their feelings so that they can see how feelings work. You don't need to justify your feelings with some fucking story,
Right.
especially if it's outside of you. If you're starting to blame someone else for your feelings, you are fucking up.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm not saying you have to be perfect at it, but you should at least be aware, like, holy shit, I'm really spinning a big narrative now. And this is obviously it's not true. No narrative is true. And it's like, hey, am I going to be able to fucking drop that someday? We'll just cut it off before it happens. So when my kids are feeling things, I remember the other day, Ari was crying and I was holding him and I don't push him into, it was after like 2 days after a jiu-jitsu tournament. I'm sure he was coming down from the high. And then he said, it's so funny, Heidi. And I go, what? He goes, I don't even know why I'm crying. I'm like, that's cool. You're just feeling stuff.
Yeah.
Cool. Yeah. Just watch those feelings. I think that's very healthy. You don't have to know why.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. You don't have to like now justify why you're feeling something.
Yeah. And I think that's the difference between curiosity and justification, right? Because justification is going to make us form the story and the narrative. But if you're curious and it just said like, hey, why do you think that? It's like, I don't know. Like, okay, so do we need to act on it? I don't think so. Right. Or, hey, every time something happens here, I feel the need to do X and Y. It's like, okay, why do you think that is? Right. And then not to like dig deep down and then be like, oh, well, it's because my dad did this, because now that's justification. And now you're spinning the narrative. So now I have to hold on to that. Right. But if I'm just curious about it and eventually you lead to a place where I was just experiencing an emotion and maybe it was tied to this event, which that's okay to experience that, but just try to, as much as you can, become an observer of it rather than the participant.
Right. And so, and as I've gotten older, you can enjoy all the emotions. You can enjoy, there's obviously, like, I haven't learned to enjoy fear, but sadness, I've really learned to enjoy it more than in the past. I don't have a lot of sadness, but I notice when it does pop up, I'm like, oh, this is like, I'm almost appreciative that at least that I'm feeling something.
Mm-hmm.
Did you know what I mean?
So,
Like, oh my God, I'm feeling something.
Dude, that is the hallmark of the human experience.
Yeah. As opposed to when I was a kid, I felt everything, but as an adult, I feel way less.
Yeah.
Way.
Well, because there's so much stuff is novel when you're younger. And then eventually it just becomes like, that's just another one of those. Right.
Yeah.
So it's not the same. But yeah, the interesting thing too is being able to leverage those emotions and what they do to you physiologically. So it's like with fear, I sometimes try to get myself into a place of like, okay, how could I utilize this for like absolute presence right now and just become crazy observant of everything around me. Right. Like, so some things, and a lot of times it's really tough because fear tends to narrow your scope and your option is just like run, get the hell out of here, whatever that case may be. But to be able to leverage it to then slow things down to become a better observer. And so like and I think I've told you this story before, but I'll never forget my uncle. He was a Marine in the Vietnam era. And when we were at the Alameda County Fair in '98, when there was like this, it wasn't like a mass shooting, but it was like there was a shooting like with a gang violence, right? And we were 200 feet away from it. And we were buying cotton candy. And right as it went off, boom, 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 everything descends to chaos. And the two big lessons I learned is chaos happens so rapidly in those situations with a lot of people right there. And the one thing my uncle did is he shoved us down and he sat. And then he just did one of these. And he was like, hold on, we're not going to run. We're just going to figure out where we're going to go right now. Where are we running to? How do we know where they're going? Like, everybody's running that way. So here goes the sheep. They all run that way. But how do you know if you're not running towards it or away from it? What even is the danger right now? Right. So those were the two biggest things, is like people don't really understand how fast things descend to chaos. And then secondly is like, how do you use that to try to become observant enough to where you could actually assess and orientate yourself to the situation?
Oh, very well said. And unfortunately, if you have people in your life who can never figure that out, it's very stressful being around those people, reactionary people. I always trip on the screaming during chaos.
Mm.
Like, hey, what the fuck are you screaming for? Like that's not doing shit.
Mm-hmm.
Therefore, confess your sins. James 5:16. Good morning, Jeffrey. Therefore, confess your sins to each other and pray for each other so that you may be healed. The prayer of a righteous person is powerful and effective.
Mm.
I want to ask you about this Asian guy really quick here. So, his YouTube station is Predictive History.
Yeah.
500,000 followers. So I've started my 4th lecture from him, and he starts every lecture with, "What I'm telling you is not true.
Mm.
It's just a model for thinking." Do you think he thinks it's true? Because
Oh,
I
that's a great
vacillate.
question.
I vacillate between the two. Like sometimes I'll go out to like, the 100,000-foot view, and I'm just watching his thinking process and the critical thinking. And then every once in a while he'll say something. I'll be like, that is like not even fucking true what he just said. And then I'll be like, oh, does that even matter?
Mm.
Do you know what I mean? Because like
Yep.
if like he starts the premise, if it's not true and he's just giving you a model to think, but then he's saying this other shit and you're like, hey, that's not like that premise you want us to accept isn't even true.
Right. Well, I think maybe that's the purpose, right? Like when you said like the money and scarcity thing versus like it being abundant or whatever.
Yeah, yeah.
That
Or
to
just
me,
you need context for it. Like if he's like on one level, money's absolutely abundant. Like just get the codes to the printing press room and go in there and print as much as you fucking want.
sure.
Right? I mean,
Yeah.
objectively, it's limitless.
Right.
Objectively, red doesn't mean stop, but
Yeah.
subjectively, like money is limited, and red does mean stop. So it's like I'm trying to figure out like what he thinks is true. Like, I remember being in school and my teachers always saying, "Hey, when you're writing, you have to keep your verbs always in the same tense." I would always fuck that up. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Past, present, or future. And I feel like when you talk to people, I don't know what the psychological or literary term is for it though, but they switch between what's in their head and what's objective reality and subjective reality to suit their needs.
Right.
And it's like the subjective reality is that Joe Ellis is a woman. The objective reality is Joe Ellis is a man. Not a great example, but
yeah. I mean, and I think being a sign of intelligence is being able to hold both of those two things in your mind and still try to make some sort of sense of it. And I think that when you're trying to make sense of something, you just have to ask yourself why, like, what is the purpose or the outcome that I'm trying to achieve here?
He even starts his first lecture as there is no such thing as there's no way to observe objective reality. And I do accept that premise, but then also as a civilization, we have to have some foundation of an agreed objective reality. I know that's a bit of a paradox, but
no, but it's correct because you need mass cooperation for societies to work.
yeah.
So if we all don't agree that it is, the red light means stop, you're going to have chaos at intersections, right?
Yeah, yeah.
The one thing that I was thinking about in terms of the money is, so money's made up, right?
Right.
And so therefore it's psychological. It only holds value in our minds.
Oh, right. Okay.
Okay. Because if I drop you and I off in a desert
Fully
island
accept that.
with
Yep.
$1 million, it doesn't matter, right? Same with power. So with human beings, you have these powerful figures, and we all have to participate in that.
Oh, we get to choose who our leader is
To a certain degree. Well, yes,
who we
and
give
no.
the power to.
Yes and no, because like power dynamics switch all the time. Right? And so it's interesting because you don't have control over that. So if you and I are somewhere and you're in charge, you're the powerful one. Let's say somebody comes up that like wants to be in the podcast. So like, okay, I'm gonna get close to Matt because I know I can get close to Sevon. So now there's a power dynamic. Like they got to kind of get in with me so I could kind of get them into you, right? And then all of a sudden somebody else comes up into the room, Like, let's, even use a political figure. Now Donald Trump comes and we're like, oh shit. So now the power dynamic switch. You're no longer, top guy on the totem pole.
Right.
And I
Someone
don't
with
longer
Joe Rogan walks in the room and someone with a bigger podcast.
There you go. But like, objectively, it's just another human being that's there. But then you try to explain to somebody outside of that, and it gets a little weird, especially if they don't value or know who Joe Rogan is. The power dynamic didn't switch for them.
Hey, when CrossFit was purchased, I was the head of media, and they never changed our roles or anything. But there was a guy who was the right-hand man of Eric Roza, Andrew Weinstein. And when we have our media meetings, he all of a sudden started treating the people who were the interns in the meeting as the leaders of the media team.
Mm-hmm. Got weird, right?
Yeah, it got really weird. And because of the lack of communication, I still behaved like the leader. I showed deference to this guy, but I still and it confused the entire fucking team.
Yep.
I mean, like completely like absolutely nothing was done for until they fired me. And then even less was done.
And that's the interesting thing about humans is like, you have to have that order.
Yeah. And that is interesting. Whenever there was order, we got the most work done. You're right. When we all know who is in charge, we stop trying to vie for power and we work. Wow. And and every time that there's a shift in leadership, that power dynamic gets all fucked up and people spend an inordinate amount of time trying to figure out where they are in the pecking order as opposed to working.
Yeah. This is the unfortunate truth of why you can't have classless societies. Unfortunately, there's always got to be a group at the bottom. There's always gonna be this group in the middle, and there's always got to be a group at the top. And if you lose that middle class or you lose that order, it shifts into chaos.
Yeah, and what's really fucked up is that there's these people like my dad who started at the very bottom and climbed up the rungs to the middle, and now they have some sort of thing where they want to bring everyone up from the bottom. No, we all that's part of the journey. We all work at McDonald's. We all work for minimum wage. We all have 5 friends of us, and each of us have, $6 an hour jobs, and we rent a 2-bedroom apartment and shit. That's the fucking process. But there's this group that starts to feel guilty for their success or feel bad, and it's like, yo, what are you doing? It's okay. There's time for everyone to climb up the fucking ladder.
Yeah.
We all fucking do it. It's not a big deal. It builds character. But they want to have some baseline for society that's higher than what it needs to be. No.
And we do.
I don't know anyone who has worked hard their whole life who hasn't been successful, except for the people who not only work hard, but then they have some other fucked up thing. You know what I mean? Like they're into stealing or into drugs or into pornography. But the people who, like every person I know, and we all know the guy who got a job, whose dad got a job at Costco when he was 17. And now he's makes $350,000 a year as a district manager of all the Costco's. Like we all know that dude.
Yeah. Well, that the only place that doesn't exist is where the economics don't allow it. Socialism, communism.
Right. In the United States. Well, yeah, maybe if you're outside the country, you don't know that. Yeah, we all know the person who worked at McDonald's and now owns 4 McDonald's.
Mm-hmm.
Like all of us have that story of someone like that. I know it's if you work hard, you're gonna, as long as you don't have something stupid like a gambling addiction, it's gonna happen for you. And I want to add to this too, Susan. I talked about this. You better always be working harder than what you're getting paid for, or else you will not grow. That's math. That's math. No one is gonna pay you more until you do the work first.
Right. And I would just like to add a caveat to all of that.
Yeah.
You need to work on yourself harder than you're working on your jobs.
Right.
That's a big missing component because I know a lot of people that fucking work more hours than I did when I was in the restaurant and whatnot. 2 jobs, doing the whole thing, right? But at the same time, if you were to say like, hey, what's your personal growth plan? Like, how are you? Okay, you want to be better at X and Y. I want to be a manager. How are you working on your communication? Do you have a basic understanding of finance? Like, do you understand truly the systems that you're working in your business and where do they come from? Because now you could start to open up that aperture, like we talked about earlier, in that specific realm of like business or whatever it is, right? Or maybe it's communication, or maybe it's your ability for customer service, which is going to be about being able to communicate at a higher level with human beings. And maybe it is emotional empathy because, hey, I get really emotional and then I'm unable, then that blocks my communication. So like, it's not only where the rubber meets the road and like the actual job you're doing, but I do believe that you have to work harder on yourself. And I think this is like a Jim Rohn saying, than you are working in your jobs. And that to me is that little difference of that caveat of like, yes, you will completely be able to go wherever you want with hard work, but it all also has to be on yourself as well.
Yeah. I was just thinking about the just being a waiter and earning tips. And it's always insane to me that if you're in the tip business and you're not every day trying to do something to figure out what gets you more tips, how to work on yourself, more eye contact, don't ever fucking talk about yourself. It's I don't know if you have a little alarm on you that goes off every 2.5 minutes or 4 minutes. Find the sweet spot of when you should be going and doing coffee refills. Never say no. Even if you can't fulfill the person's desire, never say no. Never roll your eyes when someone sends an order back. Be like, this is no, because either way, if you're taking, here's a perfect example. If you're taking the order back, let's say it's just policy, then make it as comfortable for that person as they can, regardless of whether they're right or they're trying to get something free. Like, that's your practice.
Yeah.
You're not supposed to be reacting to them. Hey, I asked for my egg scrambled, and you hear in your head, nope, they said sunny side. I'd be like, oh, no problem. This will be back in 2 seconds. Why don't you keep that? And I'll be right back.
Yep.
And thank you. And thank you for your patience. It's like, dude.
Yep.
If you're not serving, then you're not fucking serving. Just serve. It's not a eye rolling or a no one's putting you out of your way. It's all, if you think they're putting you out of your way, then you don't know your fucking job.
Yeah. Don't put friction up between what they want, right?
Yes.
And what they're asking for. And then if you really know the secret sauce, you get more upset than they are.
Oh yeah, there you go. Yeah.
So
there
someone comes over and they would like give me, and working at the steakhouse, you'd get this, how is this cooked? They're kind of being a dick about it. Like, rather than saying like, hey, my steak is overcooked or it's undercooked. How do you think this is cooked? Are you kidding me? That was supposed to be medium rare, wasn't it, sir? That is ridiculous. Hold on. Like, this is, I think maybe the plate was messed up, but did you want another one? How do you want to handle this? Now what the fuck are you going to do?
Yeah.
You're not going to get more angry than I am.
Yeah.
I'm more pissed off than you are. Fuck that new cook.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's super easy. Hey, this doesn't taste like alcohol. It doesn't. You're right. Wow. I don't even know. I think we got a new juice or something or whatever. Don't even give an excuse for it. You're absolutely right. Yeah. Here, let me fix that for you right away.
I feel like half the service people that I encounter, I'm working harder than they are to be nice to them.
Yeah,
literally.
There's zero incentives these days too. Like, a lot of people think that they're just like kind of owed something, or they're like, oh, I'm over this, or whatever. I remember people would come out and they'd be like, oh, I went to college and now I'm having to sweep underneath these tables. It's like, yeah.
There was a guy at CrossFit who worked at CrossFit who was pissed because he was a higher rank in the military than one of the people he worked with, who then he worked for in civilian life. It was so fucking bizarre to me. Hello?
Oh.
Hello?
What's up now?
What's up now?
Phone working?
No, the phone's not working, but go ahead.
I fucking love it. All right, so if you want, the Toothian will be available at Wodipalooza.
Oh, so, Gabe. Oh, hold on 1 second, Gabe. Hold on 1 second. You deserve better than this. I'm going to can you guys hear me still? Can you hear me? Susie, can you hear me?
Yeah. Oh, now you stopped. I could hear you, now I can't anymore. Maybe you don't want to be heard. That part in your show, Jenny's always hilarious. Let's see. While he's fixing that, we'll look at some of these. Brianna, my friend works 2 days a week at a bar in Miami, and that's her only job because she makes so much.
Susie, can you hear me now?
Yeah, I can hear you. You just sound like it's coming from your computer. It's coming in from your computer.
Give me a second. I apologize.
There you go.
You're going to be at Wodipalooza, Gabe? Yeah. Well, it's the same shit every time. I just had to reboot the entire system. Can you hear me now, Sousa?
Something happened. Now I can't hear
I got you.
Okay.
Oh, and I got Gabe.
I can't hear you
Hey.
now, Sousa.
You can't hear me?
No.
Did you check your gear?
Oh, you perfectly.
Audio.
Check your audio gearbox. I can hear you, Gabe. Can you hear me,
I
Gabe?
can't hear Sousa.
Gabe, can you hear me? No.
Yeah, now I can hear you. Okay, great.
Okay,
Gabe,
there we go.
Gabe from Paper Street Coffee.
Yes, sir. We got we'll have Matuthian available at Wodapalooza in SoCal. So whoever's there and hasn't picked up or just else, we definitely will have a bunch of little containers for sale for you guys.
Who
That
haven't
should be
picked
fun.
up what? Matuthian?
Yeah, Matuthian.
Yeah, boy. Wodapalooza.
And the reason why we're bringing it is because, believe it or not, a lot of people do ask almost every place that we are at if we are selling the Matuthian. So it's not just because we want to; it's actually because people have been asking.
The demand, baby.
It is supply and demand. As an employer of a lot of individuals who have graduated with a bachelor's in some type of arts, I can express how spot on you are as far as when it comes to, you know, kind of offering an experience that leaves the customer with some type of like a good emotion. I try to convey that to all my employees. I'm like, dude, I don't care. Like, we could offer the best coffee in the world, but if you're just shit, it won't even matter.
Yeah.
There's places that I go to that have amazing coffee and their customer service sucks cock, and I will never go back.
Yes, I
Yep.
agree. I agree.
So that's why, especially now, like y'all were saying, there's a lot of people that do go to college and do have this 4 to 5 years, or in Savant's case, 10 years of collegiate experience, and they get stuck with this job. And I understand this is a transitionary job. You know, about 3 people that I hired all transitioned from school to coffee shop to they finally found their profession. And I completely understand that. But during that time, I still understand, hey, I'm molding some type of youth. I'm molding this like really weird age where, you know, a lot of people in Nashville are super lib, and I get that, but it's crazy that they don't have the basic communication skills.
Yeah.
How to speak to customers, or how to just speak to an individual. It's crazy. A lot of these people can't hold a conversation, and it's up to me. Like, hey, if you're a good barista, I'm going to make you not just a good barista. I'm going to make you a really, really good conversationalist. I think that's super important. Kind of like what you guys we're talking about.
And hey, dude, I'm not asking anyone to be insincere at all, ever. You don't have to be fake. You don't have to do anything that lies. Like when Sousa says, hey, you should show your frustration more than the other person. It's not lying, because you really are frustrated because you want the fucking person to truly have the best meal, because that's the experience you're providing. You want to do everything great. And the same thing, if someone fucking walks into your place of business and they have kids with them and you notice their kids, all you have to do is be in the mindset to notice one positive thing. And if you say, wow, what well-behaved kids, I promise you they're tipping them better. Nothing matters more to anyone with kids. That's like just baseline low-hanging fruit. Wow, what a cute kid. Or I love that kid's outfit. You don't have to make something up, just something that comes naturally from you. Just be present and articulate something like that, and it's a fucking win. Like if I'm at Starbucks and the lady says, oh my God, I can't believe how cute your kids are. Wow, they're so well-behaved. That dollar tip just went up to $3.
Yeah, and you're coming back, you know.
Sorry, Gabe, I don't go to Starbucks, but I'm just saying if I did.
No.
That shit makes me shit my pants now that I've been on the Paper Street for so long. It's weird.
It's so that's why you got to go to Dunkin' a little bit more often. Or what's that coffee out there? Pete's? No,
I did Dunkin'.
Yeah, we have
in
Pete's.
Albany, and that blew my asshole wide open. That's like drinking candy. even without sugar.
Well, don't get all the sugar and all that stuff. But that's that you, dude. So I told you, and I think that this is okay, and I hope that and definitely we hired a trans individual to work at one of our coffee shops, and it was one of those things where I hired her based on her merit, and everyone around me knows the type of person I am. And they would be like, Gabe, just red flag, just don't do that to yourself. I'm like, what do you mean? Like, it's still she's still a person. She's still a very, very hardworking individual. So I focus on how hardworking you are, how you're adding value to my company and my business. And then as any other employee, I have to respect you as long as you align with the values of Paper Street Coffee. So I don't give a fuck what you are.
Let me ask you this, Gabe. Let me ask you this. I have no issues with trans people working anywhere either. Not my kid's school. But I went into this coffee shop in Berkeley. This is 15 years ago. It was a Phil's, and I walk up to the counter, and there's this very attractive young girl there, and she has a mustache. And I know that you see Sousa's eyebrows did something weird. Susan, I'd never realized that when you did that with your eyebrows, you look like one of the Muppets. You know what I mean? Like your eyebrows look like they're too. Do you get your eyebrows waxed or anything?
No, it's all natural, baby.
Oh, those are nice.
Yeah,
anyway, very expressive. Anyway, so they corrected me. They said I can't remember if I said yes, ma'am, or yes, sir. I think I said yes, ma'am, and they go, it's yes, it's I'm a boy. And either way, I was thinking like, hey, dude, I didn't come here. I'm thinking for a fucking like. I wasn't upset, but I was thinking to myself like, I didn't I'm coming here for a fucking cup of coffee. Like that's it.
Yeah.
What do you think about that? What do you think if someone said to your employee, I mean, I never corrected people when I was a kid when they would say I was a girl.
So when I hire you not to be a barista. I hire you to give the best customer service experience possible.
Yeah.
In that experience, who are you servicing? The customer, or you're serving yourself? If you're servicing yourself during any of that, then there's an issue there.
Yeah.
With that being said, I make sure that everyone understands, hey, when a customer walks in through the doors of our coffee shops, you are in charge. This is your home, and I'm giving you that opportunity to make sure that you feel comfortable and safe in this environment. But you need to also manage your own emotions. And in that situation, it could either be one of those things where most likely I would tell them, hey, brush that shit under the rug. She doesn't know you. If your employer, after multiple times tell you, or one of your coworkers, if you decide to identify as a he, and I keep calling you she, then you can go ahead and approach me or approach one of your other employees.
I agree.
And say that, but not to a customer. You're there to service the customer. And now if a customer comes in and is like, hey, how come you guys are charging me an extra $1 for fucking milk, for almond milk? You can have the conversation with them, being very respectful and informative. But don't like, hey, you're supposed to be calling me fucking a unicorn. No, fuck out of here.
Yeah.
The best customer service experience, point blank and simple.
Yep.
There's no ifs, ands, or buts about that.
Yep. That's a great way to do it because you're just keeping the main thing.
I was a cashier one time, and this lady goes to me. It was at a place called Drug Barn. It was like Costco and CVS fucked each other. It was back. I was probably 16 years old, and this old lady comes through my line, and she wants to return something, and I say I have to call the manager because I can't do it, and she gets really pissed because I can't do it, and she has to wait a second, and I'm like, I'm so sorry, and she's like, don't talk to me. And I said, yes, ma'am. And then she's like, I said don't talk to me, and then by then I was like, I was in full asshole mode. I was like, yes, ma'am. She's like, I told you not to talk to me. I said, anything you want, ma'am. I'm here to service you. and I was just such a little prick. It was crazy. I think she threw the light bulbs at me. I think I started laughing. The manager came over, kicked her out of the store. It was great. It was fucking great.
I've yet to kick anyone out. We've had issues where I think I told you, and I won't say where it is, but where a customer, quote unquote, accidentally showed a picture of their genitalia to a barista. That was interesting.
Oh,
was
my kid saw something on my phone the other day he shouldn't have seen. It wasn't like porn or nudity, but
It was Taylor Self.
he still shouldn't have seen it. I had filmed one of his tennis matches, and he's like, "Hey, can I see that last hit?" And I pull up my phone, and it's just sitting right there. He's like, "What's that?" I'm like, "I don't know. Something crazy someone sent me." It was crazy. As long as my wife knows what's on my phone, I'm cool.
Thankfully I don't want. I have risque things on my phone, but I don't think I have anything that involves another dude's genitalia.
I wish this was another dude's genitalia. This was not. This was crazy.
Okay. I think I know it.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
This person sends me so much crazy shit. It's crazy.
Is it Travis? Is it Grant?
No. No.
I'd expect that from Grant.
No.
Dude, you know what's funny? And I was one of the individuals that got kicked out of that chat that everyone had when I don't know what drama was happening. I love that chat because people would talk shit about Paper Street Coffee, not knowing that I was inside that chat.
Oh wow!
Anally penetrate them, and then the person that kicked me out was Trish. So I'm like, okay, so Trish is definitely either Grant or like someone that or a few other people, like very few people. Like no one would kick me out that wasn't butthurt about something that I said. To them.
I feel a little bad. I banned 3 people from the show, and I feel a little bad because I know they don't know why they were necessarily banned. They don't know what they participated in, and I feel and there's people out there who are upset at me, but it's because they don't know really what happened and they think they did. But I don't feel any obligation to explain it to anyone. But I promise you that anyone would do the exact same, if not way, way gnarlier than what I did, than how I handled it. My patience is like a 10. It's like really, really impossible to get under my skin. Yeah, it bums me out. So,
do you think it was something that? Is it a Sevon thing or is it a them thing?
There was just things. It was just I don't understand the question. What do you mean?
Did you kick them out because of an emotion that you felt that like Sevon created, or did they make you feel an emotion?
They were participating. Imagine this. Imagine I walk up to you and we're in a parking lot together, and I say to you, "Hey, I'm having trouble getting into my car," and you're like, "Oh, I'll help you," and you get your Slim Jim or whatever, and you break into my car, right? And you help me break into my car, and then at some point, and then you go home, right? And then the cops come to your door and arrest you for breaking into a car, and you're like, "What do you mean? I was helping that person get into the car," and they're like, "That wasn't that person's car. That person carjacked the car, and you're complicit in it." And so you were tricked into doing something that you didn't want to do, and you go to jail for it. So that's what I mean. Like there were people who were complicit in doing something that they didn't know that they were complicit in, and it sucks. But
I mean, shit, I fucking jerked off Brian because of you, and I'm not mad at you.
Oh,
like
right. I was vouching for him until the very end. Yeah, a lot of people told me a year before Brian had his last chance, like, "Hey, what are you doing? Like, we see all the signs. What the fuck are you doing?"
Yeah, I mean, maybe the way that you're saying it, because you're not painting the whole picture, and I completely understand why you're not. But I would have to put the onus on me, like, hey, it's a me thing. It's not a Sevon thing. It's not a Sousa thing. It's not like a even a Brian thing.
Well, yeah, your lesson from it is hey, before you help someone break into their car ever again, you ask, "Hey, is this your car?" You're saying you take something away. Yeah. Of course.
Or make sure I break into a car that I'm stealing.
Right.
Okay.
Right.
I mean, yeah, I haven't, like I said, I haven't kicked anyone out of at a coffee shop. I had one lady fucking put used tampons all over the floor, and I still didn't kick her out. I was like, hey, I don't have cameras in the bathroom. I know it's you. Just fucking don't do it again. Don't be dirty.
Yeah.
So it's one of those things where it's like you just have to. I know you just have to like navigate and juggle shit. Like I'd loved that chat for the one and the only thing is to talk shit to Grant and to talk shit to the people that were talking shit about me behind my back, which I don't give a fuck. Like even like with the Laura thing about the punching people or whatever the fuck she said. Okay.
I'm
All
okay.
right,
I'm okay
do
with
it.
that. I'm okay with that post of hers. Yeah.
Yeah, talk as much shit as you want. Talk all the talk. Do whatever the fuck you want, because we all know when push comes to shove, no one's gonna do anything. And the people that know, like if you know any type of combat or martial arts, you know you're not letting anyone close to you to harm you. When people like square up in public, I'm like, they're both untrained. You would never let anyone get close to you to harm you.
Yeah.
You should be like, either this remove yourself from the situation, which is the best thing to do, or like, hey, you're gonna get close. I have nowhere to go. I'll most likely beat the shit out of you.
Yeah, and people are stupid.
And
The other day, someone almost got too. Oh, so the other day, I was with someone, and someone started threatening us, and that person almost got shot. I mean, they don't know that, but yeah, they almost got shot. I mean, they stayed. Thankfully, they stayed 15 feet away. But if they would have come close, it'd have been toast.
Yeah, and I get it. Maybe, and I'm looking at it like maybe that someone did, and it's very different because I'm new to this, right? Like the speaking about my kid. If you don't know me and you say Luke is a piece of shit, okay, all right. Like, what do you want me to say? You want me to get defensive?
Yeah, there's no point.
Luke is a retard. Okay, perfect. If you spend time with my kid and you spent 24 hours a day, if his mom says, hey, Luke is a retard, I'll probably slap her. But it's very different. It's very different when it comes from other people. I can give two shits. Like, hey, Gabe, you're a cocksucker. Okay, I can give two shits. If you say, hey, Gabe, someone that works for you is a cocksucker, I'm gonna go have to defend them. So that's, I guess I can kind of see why you might have kicked them out, but also at the same time, like, hey, the Sevan thing, is it an emotion you have to like explore and navigate?
Word.
That's it.
All right.
Gotcha.
Thank you.
2 weeks from now.
All right. See you soon. Matoothian, bring your $20 to Wodapalooza. Get Matoothian. Fix your teeth. Thanks, buddy.
Talk to you guys.
Bye.
Awesome.
Wow, this is going to be a crazy show. In 12 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, Andrew Hiller's going live on the spin. There's no way Andrew's skin is that nice. There's no fucking way. That's a smooth. Goob, is Andrew using a smoothing filter?
No, he's got Alexis helping him out.
And this will be a fun show. God, that's a good time to like clean out the garage. You know what I mean? Put that in your ears.
Mm-hmm.
That'll be a fun one. Maybe I'll go do yard work today at noon. God, that's going to be crazy. I wish I was on that show. You won't hear me say that very often. Sevan, what do you think about Andy Stumpf? American hero, military veteran, strong-minded, strong-willed, father. I'm glad he's not doing I don't think he's doing base jumping anymore, which makes me happy.
He's getting fat.
Oh, did he? Did he get fat?
He's getting fat. He just doesn't look as. Every time I've seen him, he's looked a little chunky.
Hopefully he's living his best life. That's it. Double spin shows today.
Oh, because they have their nighttime show. 4:30 p.m. for us.
Oh, I thought that it's funny. I thought they were at the same time last night. I was on with Charlie Lawrence.
No, they're always Wednesday, 4:30 p.m. our time.
Wednesday, 4:30 p.m. our time. Look at you.
Got it down.
You know stuff.
Makes it easy.
All right. Tomorrow night, guys, Jack Della Maddalena is coming on. That's going to be absolutely amazing. I think that's his first interview since the announcement of his fight with Islam Makhachev. Pretty excited about that. And then in the morning, Harry Lightfoot.
Yep.
That's going to be good too. The great Harry Lightfoot, the UK's greatest CrossFit athlete.
Live and on the show.
All right. Thanks, Susan, for coming on.
Yeah, thanks for letting me jump on late on the Greg show. So enjoy being able to do that. So appreciate it.
And I will see you guys tomorrow morning, 7 a.m. Bye-bye.